Get to know all your favorite VRChat DJs all in one place. This is VRCDJLIVE.
Coming up to episode 68 here on the program, and wouldn't you believe it, we already passed by the magical number of 67. I'm glad that we kind of been able to ditch that, and also one away from 69, which unfortunately we couldn't have had District 1 on for 69. Probably should have planned that a little bit better, but we're here and we're doing it live, and we got a lot of people in chat ready to go, so welcome on in to VRC DJ Live. I'm Rob Roman, your host, and if you're brand new to this program, we do it live. That's it. It's a live program to sit in and talk with all of your favorite, all of your favorite DJs, all of your favorite communities, VJs, dancers, even community members, all in one place. And also a really good opportunity to not only ask all of the questions that everyone's been kind of talking about to get some answers, but to also be able to say hi to all of your favorite so-and-sos here on the channel, because wouldn't you believe it, Fridays and Saturdays are always the busiest dates in VRChat land when it comes to the rave scene, that we don't even have enough time to stop in and say hi, because let's just face it, our favorite DJs are up there doing the thing. Once they're done, I don't know, they need to hydrate or go lay down or go eat a food or go do other things, maybe do other events and stuff like that. So this is the time to be able to do that. Just want to do a real quick housekeeping note for those of you that came and watched our show last week with Polymathic. We are doing our best to reschedule it. I had all of my RAM died. That's the only way I could explain it, that everything kind of got kaput. And it's a little upsetting because we had a lot to talk about with TwitchCon coming up in Rotterdam, and the continuing effects of the DJ community within Twitch. We definitely want to have it back on the program to continue our discussions with that. But for today, probably the most talked about people in our rave scene to date here, even in 2026, and we're really glad to have our next guest here sitting with us. They're a rave community featuring high energy vibes that push the limits of intimate venues, celebrating their 1-year anniversary with over 4,100 members in their VRChat group. And outside of just being a very active social community, their phrase on Blue Sky, "I'm locked in," holds true to how they're handling business. Please welcome to the VRC DJ Live studios, Bean, Ken, and Kissari of District 1. Guys, finally glad to have you here on the program to discuss some DJ stuff. I feel like you guys are already getting kind of ramped up for a really busy weekend. Is there anything that you want to promote for this weekend and kind of get people excited and started?
So yeah, on Sunday, Dexy's hosting, one of our hosts is hosting an event. It's called Signal. It's a techno-only event. As far as I'm aware, that's what it was last time. But we're also debuting the District 1 Twitch channel, where we're going to restream most of our events live as they're happening in the world. So if you can't make it in VR for whatever reason, you can still at least tune into them while you're driving, while you're playing games, whatever. You can just have it open on another monitor. We've seen some other clubs do this. It's been really successful, especially when the instance is full. You can at least listen to it live still while you're waiting in the queue. I think it's a good addition.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that, because when I know we met like literally almost a month ago to get this episode up and running and the interview going, and I know that wasn't one of the things that we were discussing, of the fact of being able to stream on Twitch. Was there an actual process of being able to set that up, or were there really big talks about how you wanted to handle that?
It's been in the motion for a while. Like, we had the Twitch account, we were going to start it a while ago, and then it's just one of them things you procrastinate on, you just don't really do it, and then one thing leads to another. But Dexy, thank God, the GOAT, offered to start doing it, especially whenever he's around. So, and I finally got a second setup to also start doing it. So I think the timing just lined up in the last few weeks to say, we should commit to this. There's no reason why we shouldn't be doing this.
Right.
And sharing.
And I feel like it's important too, especially for those people in chat that are also looking to kind of come in. And I know one of the heaviest hit topics out of all the heavy hit topics that we're going to be talking about today is just that. It's just sometimes these instances, they get so full And I mean, that looks really good for you guys and really looks good on paper, but it is an ever going conversation within our community to be like, what can we do with this? And the overflows are good. You know, doing an overflow map and getting more people to go over there while they're waiting to get into the main instances is good. And I think it's a good idea, but I feel like there could be potential for more to that, or more of an incentive to say, hey, come on over to the overflow, because we got something special over there compared to obviously the main instance and stuff like that. But you know, again, all of that is super helpful kind of in the future. Talking about locking in, though, like we were kind of explaining, I love that on the Blue Sky, it kind of featured that kind of concept. And for you guys, again, within this 1 year, it has been mind-numbing to see how popular District 1 has been. The events have been popping off recently. The community just can't get enough of what you guys are doing. How are you collectively feeling about all of this?
I don't know. I started this as a hobby with Nitsua. I've been DJing in VRChat for a few years now, and I've always just like hopped from club to club to club, and they always start and they're always amazing, and then they always dissolve for whatever stupid VRChat reason throws their way. And I thought it was just finally time to do it myself. And like, I know like some other clubs do this, some other clubs don't like doing this, but like my thought process at the time was, if I make my own group, then I always have a place to play as well. And like I can lock in per se the name and just like play whatever I want to play and not have to worry about anything else.
Now, am I kind of saying that right? Like, is that kind of the District 1 phrase to kind of go off of, locking in?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. What about you guys? What do you, how would you consider locking into District 1?
Ooh. Do you mind if I take this? Oh, cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Locking in at District 1. Okay, so we're always locked in, right? Like our staff, we have okay. Shout out Don Polygon. Awesome. Awesome, 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 awesome. And Mad Doge, they're
That's
always
my
on lights.
boo.
They'll be there like the whole night, just like working hard, grinding, like making sure everyone's having a crazy experience, like waiting till the drop, switching buttons, doing a bunch of crazy stuff. And like we have so much like talent on our staff too, like all these DJs. And when we pull up, like you're gonna have a good event. That's like our goal. That's always our goal.
Hmm.
And I think that's just like a general gist, like let's get it, let's lock in. And it's nice to have like some motivational, like very vague pointing direction of like positivity. That's how I take it.
Yeah, and especially too with the positivity and being able to have the good vibes and the really good community to want to always be there too. It's a nice, more positive way of staying focused and being on track of the things that like, and this is something we're gonna okay, straight out the gate, we have a lot of big topics that we're going to be talking about on the show, and one of those things that we continuously like talking about on our show is finding the difference between a hobbyist and a professional. And it's becoming such a more happy, positive, and popular place to be, and being able to lock in. And all I've ever wanted is success for everybody, like, so when I see District 1 popping off every weekend, week after week after week, I'm just like, so what's the next step? And so I guess since we're on Ken right now, what about you? What do you think would probably be the next step after locking in for this community, for this particular community?
Our next step, like as District 1?
Yeah.
Or okay, yeah. Well, like we jump started our TikTok, we're jump starting our Twitch. We're trying to like put feels out and pull people into the community. There's some things I want to bring up later. I'm not going to spoil all these like fun facts and percentages I have in my brain. But I lost my train of thought. I got so excited about numbers. Like next steps.
So are
For, like,
are you
District
seeing like
Mhm.
social media like TikTok and Instagram starting to really level up a little bit, as well as we did mention streaming on Twitch even more, and again, every week it seems like we're learning new things about Twitch, and even with the whole, listen, I don't want to open up this can of worms because I'm still reading about it, but the whole thing that like gaining affiliate status is not a thing right now. Twitch literally said anyone who sets up an account on Twitch does not have to get affiliate to make money.
Has that changed recently? That's so interesting. So like what is the concept, like you can just start a Twitch account and that's it, you from the get-go can be making money, or have they changed that differently?
So without hearing boos in chat and boos from everybody, what their idea is that if you're not affiliate, you can make money on Twitch, but you have to put that money back into the platform using that. They have a concept where instead of getting a payout, what you could do is take that earnings and put it back into subscriptions, buying bits, and kind of giving back to your creators. So that's what they're trying to do, is that anybody can make money on Twitch, but you won't receive a payout of it. You just kind of put it back into the Twitch economy by, giving money to other people.
Kind of like a circle.
Yeah.
Kind of like a
Very
It's a joke.
pyramid-y,
Never mind.
yeah,
That's a
very
nice
pyramid-y,
try.
yeah.
That's a little like getting paid in gift cards. Like that's really
Yeah.
unfortunate. That doesn't feel right to me.
Yeah. I mean, some
Um,
people also too, like, we ended up getting a new vending machine service at my work, and people were complaining that they can't use cash. They have to use a card or put money on an app to be able to purchase something. You can't just use cash at this vending machine anymore, which is really strange. But, with the times goes the thing. But the same thing goes with Twitch and their services. Like, I would assume that, yes, if someone donates to you, let's just say you get $20, then you don't have to use a credit card or a means of PayPal to purchase subs to somebody else or bits to someone else. And I'm sure everyone has their own version of their opinion about that story, but even with the ongoing changes on Twitch and the platform, and you can always stream on YouTube, you can stream on TikTok. I think a lot of people have been doing that lately too. Again, when it comes to District 1, what are your thoughts for the future of social media?
I don't think it's a negative thing. I think it's social media is always going to be a positive platform, no matter how negative people try to make it. Because there's always going to be them good eggs that are always there to support you and encourage you. And honestly, like, there to build hype. Like, we always post our events a few days on our social medias before we post them anywhere else, because people will repost it, people will like it, people will share it with their friends before anyone else gets to see it. And I think that's a bit of like exclusivity that you get from being on social media and following your favorite creators than you would get just being like learning it in the moment.
I think it's also super helpful to even talk about these things a little earlier on too, because like I'm not saying that like that's going to be the talk of the town this weekend, or people are going to like be hanging out and drinking and going to these events. And, oh, did you hear about Twitch? You hear about what they're doing? Like, I mean, sure, people are going to be talking about it, but the same thing with the Twitch DMCA and the Twitch DJ program. People were talking about it, and some of the rules are a little funny, and we have to kind of talk about it as a community that continues to post stuff up on Twitch. It's kind of all important to that. Let's kind of get back to the idea of District 1's 1-year anniversary. I know when we got together, Bean, you mentioned how like you couldn't imagine how many people just showed up even within the year to be like, oh my gosh, District 1 is really, kicking ass and having a good time. Talk to us about when you started compared to celebrating the 1-year anniversary, and how you've been feeling about putting together District 1.
Yeah, so like when we started, like I said, it was just me and Nitua. Nitua has been my supporter. Like, he's been my #1 fan, as you could put it, from day one. And it only made sense to start it with him and create something like special that was ours. Because everywhere I went, he went. Everywhere he went, I went, and we made so many great friends that way. To the point where at that point we needed something where we could centralize not only our friends, but what we believed in and what we wanted to do. And originally, and we are still tracking with that thought, is we wanted to start showcasing DJs that weren't super well known in the community, or like hadn't had their chance to be put in the spotlight or be a headliner or just anything like that. We wanted to make sure they were put front and center for anything else. My poor hip. Oh my god. And honestly,
Shakira.
we put networking first. I think our first 20 events were collabs. We didn't do a single solo event because it didn't make sense to us. We wanted to start finding that talent, and the only way you can find more talent is by going to communities that you're not necessarily a part of and collaborating with them to share, like, to come together and obviously show each other's talents off. And that's just grown from there. Like, we started, I think it took us a month and a half to 2 months before we did our first like solo event. And then I think it was Ken, it was me, Nitzer, and Ken sat there at the end of the event, and Ken said, "This is going to be something big." Like, I think we had like an 80-person queue to like our first solo event. And yeah, it just kind of blew up from there. Like, yeah, we have our ups and downs, especially on the weekdays, because our primary event is a Wednesday. Like, we don't always pop off on them Wednesdays, but we still get to see the same familiar faces every week that come to like, they're like diehard, come to District 1 events on a Wednesday, and it's always a great time. And then obviously, whenever we want to do something big, we do it on the weekend, and we still see all them same faces and many more. And I don't know, it just kind of blew up. I don't really have words for it outside of that. I didn't expect it to happen like this. I don't think anyone did, especially in a year. It's just been super exciting.
I mean, how are you feeling about it now? I mean, we have been kind of talking with the past couple of our guests about burnout. And again, I can't imagine, because I've never really put together an event that's constantly like 80 people with a queue, where you're also not only seeing members of your community, but you're starting to see fresh faces as well. So I feel like you've kind of built up a repertoire. You've been able to put together kind of an idea of how you want to introduce yourself to the new people. But obviously, working a show, you know, like, you're busy. It's hard to be able to take some time to say hi to people. So collectively, out of the year, where are you guys at mentally? Are you guys still ready to go for a whole nother year, or have you kind of learned a lot within that 1 year?
Well, we took a break for December. We didn't do anything for the Christmas period. That was a hard rule that me and Nito both agreed on, I think, because we opened like about 2-3 months ago from whatever month we're in now, and we just went full like steam train. We didn't stop. We did events as much as possible because that's what we enjoy. For me, this is a video game and it's a social platform at the same time, but I get on to listen to music, to play great music, and that's like, I don't think about getting on this game for anything else. And so that's what we did. It didn't feel like a chore. It didn't feel like anything else because it was fun. It still is fun, and it's going to be that way, for me at least, for the foreseeable future. I have no plans on stopping. But that month's break during December was like really refreshing because it was that chance, and I still did, and I think Nitsua did, and I'm sure you guys did. I just went to different clubs. Like, nothing really changed for me except from the fact that it wasn't our instance and I didn't have to worry about moderating, running lights, putting links in. I was just going to different places and listening to music. No different to what I would be doing at our event.
And that's super helpful too, just understanding that we do talk a lot about it, and we bring up that idea of being able to go see other DJs. And it might be a little there's some hesitation too. VRChat, you got to chat, you got to talk to people, got to network. And that's the other thing too, is that, you know, you don't know your future homies until you become homies, and then you start talking with people. But understanding what you want to get out of the program and how you want to establish how, like you were saying, that this is a game first before anything else, but being able to sit there and also listen into the music and the great music and trying your best to kind of create a good magical experience out of it all. I mean, we're in virtual reality. Like, we're like, we should be able to do something really fun out of this instead of just like Fruit Ninja or, you know, something silly like okay, I haven't been to the fishing world, but I feel like the fishing world was really fun. And maybe I'll find some time to go to fishing. I feel like Kissari's over here. Yeah, like, I don't know about fishing, but
listen, I have a whole fit for the fishing world when I go to fish. Like, it's insane. I have a lot of hours in the fishing world.
I was trying to keep up with Captain Duck because he was in there, and I think he was trying to get the high score the entire time that he was posting on social media, but
Yeah, I've spent. Well, we had a community night actually. We did our first community night in the fishing world. We had about like 30 people just show up, and we just sat in the swamp area and just literally fished. Didn't do any whirlpools. Just chatted, fished, hung out. Some people went on the boats and like drove around.
You think there's going to be a lot more of that? Because I know occasionally we talk about it from time to time, being like, man, there's all these other fun worlds that we could be going to. Obviously, people are here for the music. People are here to drink, kind of let loose after the work week and stuff like that. But do you think we're going to start to see a lot more of that with the community being able to be like, I mean, not even just like movie nights or game nights, but just like maybe world hop nights in here?
I eventually kind of want to do like a little world hop night. I know that I brought up originally community night as like a if we didn't want to do like a DJ event, but we still wanted to all hang out together type of deal. Like, okay, well, we'll just do a community night and we'll throw our butts in a random world and hang out. But I'd all honestly be all up for world hopping with like 5 people from District 1 if they wanted to.
I'd really like to get all of your
That sounds
opinions
fun.
about how, like you were saying, being that you were been able to put together a Wednesday night, and that some people really enjoy it, but it doesn't hit as hard as the weekends, obviously, just because, you know, once Friday comes and everybody gets out of work around 5 p.m., that's when people are kind of showing up to do all the socializing and letting loose and stuff like that. But we've been thinking a lot about that too, even just in our rave community, of trying to decide when a good weekday would work best. Obviously, Fridays and Saturdays, everybody's kind of hustling to be able to be a part of everything. But do you think there will be a potential, out of all three of you, do you think there'll be a potential where we can have a steady flow of things almost every day?
I think we're at that point. I don't know about you guys. You brought up on a previous podcast, so like the friends, like group owners booking their friends, and then their group owners are also booking their friends, and it's like a circle, a tiny community. And like I think our like this as for District 1 and our like close partners and like friends, we're kind of at that point where like the shop AP posted it and announced it. He was like, here's a club you can go to every day of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And it was like between us and our like core group of like friends that are group owners, we've all like chosen a day of like that week, so like we can all still host something on the weekday without overlapping or like intruding on each other, and so we can all still hang out together at these different venues with different DJs and genres and still relax, only knowing we have to host one of them days a week.
But even considering the fact that everybody's busy on the weekdays, though, I think that's the biggest hindrance when it comes to all of this. Ken, what do you think?
That's a good question. So like what I see is that everyone is so dispersed and no one knows what's like just beyond the other edge of their bubble. Like where other people are and stuff like that. Like how you were mentioning before, like you don't know people, they could be your homie until like you just talk to them. I found that like there there are so many clubs out there. There are so many clubs that put so much effort in, and you just like have to stumble upon them. And I think that's so unfortunate. Like there is stuff happening all the time. Like there is stuff happening all the time. You just got to know where to look. And it's unfortunate you have to like find someone who's a raver and then click on them and look through all their groups and be like, okay, there's got to be something good in here. And then you like add a bunch of groups. Like that's how I jump started. I was like, all these other people know. Like everything is networking, and I hate the word networking. It's kind of just like show up and talk to people. Like be there. And it's nice having like these clusters of communities. I think that's excellent. Like AP from the shop is great at like putting their other friends, being like, oh yeah, my friend's playing here, everyone go support. And it's so tricky. Like the whole thing is so complex, yet in my experience, like all I did was show up. You know, all I did was show up and dance to music. So it's a little weird. Like you can dig into the nitty gritty of it, but like I always see there's stuff. There's always stuff happening.
I think the other part of it too, and obviously the networking is like business term. We could be saying socializing. I mean, that's kind of all we're doing is socializing. But the way you could be doing it as a profession and be like, oh well, I'm networking, because the way I see it in here is like we're all colleagues. You know, like when somewhere down the line, let's just say one of your colleagues says, hey, I know I've seen Ken perform, and I think you do a really fantastic job at this event. You know, I feel like that's better networking than socializing. But in socializing, you know, coming in here and finding ways to just like talk to people and connect with people, it goes a little bit, it's more like networking light. You know, it's just kind of a softer, easier way of being able to network and being able to find those times and experiences. I think ultimately for all of us, it's a matter of what could work and what would stick. I know someone in chat mentioned Waifu Wednesdays. That I guess was a very popular thing back in the day or a couple of years ago. And that would have been helpful if that's something that you're interested in, Wednesdays and waifus at the same time. You kidding me? That sounds great. But at the same time too, I also personally believe that Thursdays are meant for people that are like, they want to try to DJ and they're practicing and they'll find ways to do pop-ups or you know, a way for you to just be like, hey, come on in and listen to me try to DJ, and hopefully, you know, one of these days I can do a Friday or a Saturday slot. I've always kind of considered Thursdays to be like that, but obviously that is unofficial. That's an unofficial thing to say, but we would love to try to get more things saying, you know, and I wouldn't say like Taco Tuesdays where it's just like Spanish music or something. I don't know. Maybe I'd be a little insensitive about it, but like it would be great though, right? Like at least you have an incentive to eat some tacos and come in and listen to Spanish music at the same time. You would have known that. But kind of putting that into consideration, I want to kind of jump back to being over the fact that like even for District 1 in May, you guys were able to post the events that are coming up in May. And there seems to be a lot, you know, it only is like maybe 5 or 6 of them, but like that does seem a lot. You do have events kind of going on every week.
Yeah. I think that is the benefit of like Nitsuo wanted to find all of these new DJs. My big thing is I build a lot of rave worlds, and obviously you need people to rave in them, otherwise they just sit there collecting dust. And so my big thing, once District 1 started picking up a little bit of traction, and Kissari takes full advantage of this whenever she can, is that you're not just a host at the club. If you want to run a event, as long as there's not an event planned, that's your day. Just tell us that's your event. And it's really refreshing as maybe like someone who's seen as the owner and like the face of the group is like, Kissari wants to run this event and I can trust them to do that. I don't have to be there. I have no obligation to turn up. I have no obligation to like be there for 6 hours because that's what something Kissari wanted to do. And I think that's why we have so many events on the lineup, is because like I think last month we did maybe 7 planned events. I only booked 1 of them. That was the rest of the staff team were the ones that were like spearheading everything else. That's what they wanted to do that month.
I will say that's actually how night shifts spawned. I have like a weird, very weird, crazy schedule. I work 4 in the morning Eastern Standard. Crazy. So, Thursday nights were the only nights I had that were off. So I was like, okay, well, we'll host Wednesday because I can actually stay up, I can party. And then that just became like our casual, regular, like night shift night. And then I started to introduce what we call break room, which is where we have new DJs who haven't played for us in a while. We give them 30 minutes at a time. They play what they want. That they give us their bread and butter. They give us meme central for 30 minutes. Like it, if Bean wanted to play Crazy Frog for 30 minutes, I'd say have at it.
I definitely would do that.
I think you have.
Is that because of the
Have
frog
you
hat?
done like a 1 hour?
Yeah, like Ken said to me the other month, I think it was just for the 1-year anniversary, that I have a Bean bingo card of songs that I play every set. So no matter the genre, I will have like a remix of that song in my like crate to play. And Crazy Frog, I think, not as much recently because I recently deleted a lot of music, but I would have Crazy Frog was the one. If you went to a Bean set, you would hear Crazy Frog. The frog hat actually came from the fishing world. This whole like attire and I don't know, I just kind of put the hat on as a funny joke, and I was like, wow, this is like really niche and a really good like. I don't see anyone else running like this frog hat type of thing, or like not that way, not type that the words, not that type of way, but like I at the time didn't really have like an identifier for myself, and I was like, well, I'm gonna keep running with this frog hat. I think it's cute anyway, so I'm just gonna keep running it. And now that's like been as of like this year, my logos have changed because of the frog hat. My like visuals have changed because of the frog hat. That's just like I've full dived into it.
You don't think it's kind of strange? I mean, obviously, I feel like some DJs you want to hear a specific thing. Like we keep bringing up Benny Benassi. Literally, is dropping a new album. He already did, and he's been doing absolutely everything in his possibility to like showcase it. He even did like I think it was like a community bike ride where he was just on a bicycle, and he also had his deck on the bicycle with a big speaker in the back, and he was like just driving through New York City, and he was like the end location was Times Square, where he had a pop-up where he was in a trailer and just DJing in Times Square, just kind of doing whatever. But he's the type of guy that will say out of like 20-25 years of Satisfaction, he's still gonna play Satisfaction. You know, like everybody knows that you're going to go see Benny Benassi, you're going to hear Satisfaction, and he's still up there kind of like, dude, I'm playing the same song and everyone enjoys it, everyone's vibing and stuff like that. But like, I feel like there are some people, I mean, you weigh it back and forth. You know, again, it wouldn't be a Bean set unless you do play Crazy Frog. But once you're in the crowd and you're just like, oh my gosh, Crazy Frog, like then you will continuously vibe, but then you'll know that you've been at an official Bean set. Do you think we're going to see a lot more of that type of DJing in 2026?
Encourage it. I think if you want to go see your favorite band, you're going to want to listen to your favorite songs from that favorite band. And if they don't play these songs that they've like pushed out there, and that's how they're like their hits, obviously. I imagine going to like what random artist, Ed Sheeran, for example, and then he doesn't play the songs that made him famous. You'd be upset because they're his big songs. And I think repetition like that, if you're not a producer and just strictly a DJ, is like no different to finding your own specific sound and having like maybe 10 tracks that you try mix in once like VRChat's a big place. You DJ like 5 times a week and get away with it, but like maybe once or twice a week you fit them songs into your crate. People know that's how they'll know you for and be like, oh, that's their vibe, that's their sound. Ken is very big for this. Like Ken has some crazy sound clips that it will slip in there and crazy songs that.
That's funny.
It's not a Ken set unless he plays Baby by Justin Bieber.
Yeah, it's true. Like for my first 200 sets, I did the math. I like checked my session histories. Like 2/3 of my sets had Justin Bieber Baby, the original, no remix.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, like, how do you mix
thing.
into that? Do you just do a backspin and just start playing it, or do you do it cheeky every time?
It's like 128 BPM. It's like a 9A, I think, and there's like a lot of tracks that line up with that. You just beat match and have at it.
I'm happy that you know the Camelot code for it. It's like kind of important.
Yeah, I do count on my fingers a lot, but that's super important. It meshes with so much. It's like that and Hollaback Girl. But funny story, super quick. I had a friend who was sleeping in an instance. They like passed out. It was like a long night for them, and I had missed the night. But I woke up at like 4 a.m. and I was like, I really wish I could play somewhere. So I found an instance and started DJing. And they woke up to Justin Bieber Baby and texted me. And they were like, I know you're DJing right now. I don't even have to look. You're the only person who plays Justin Bieber Baby. And it was probably like that into dubstep or something. But that's my signature. I've been trying to step away from it though. But like now that you say that, it might make an appearance.
I mean, like, you know, there's certain norms that certain DJs do in here. And we're just like I had to talk to someone about I brought up backspinning because for me it's kind of funny. that occasionally we have a lot of people that will backspin way too fast, or they'll see James Hype do it like way fast or something. And there can be a technical skill to it, but I think that's kind of one of the top 5 transition things that you can do as a DJ, or the top 5 most popular transition things to do as a DJ. So I'm like low key laughing because, like, I mean, again, you wouldn't be able to see a Ken set without that. You wouldn't be able to see a Bean set without that. But like, I could only imagine going into summertime that everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, that's a great idea. I'm gonna do that," and then like you're gonna be known as like the guy that does a thing. And it's either people are going to be feeding into it being like, wait a minute, I like this idea, we're going to roll with it, or it's going to be kind of like a, I don't know, kind of a thing. But from what it sounds like, I mean, listen, there's got to be some hilarity in VR chat anyway. Like, being super serious, like you guys were saying, you know, it's a game first before anything else, and being a little silly. I was going to ask you, do you own that frog hat yet, or?
It's on the way.
Oh,
I'm gonna wear it. I've got this like whole outfit lined up for an IRL event at the end of the year. I'm not gonna tell anyone who I am. I'm just gonna wear it, and people can figure it out.
Gosh, that's gonna be tough too, because like you could be a mad duck too, and just walk around with a bunch of ducks on you, and you're just like great ducks. But I would think Ken would also have the hair for that too, right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe for like an IRL event. My previous avatar was like modeled to look like me, and I got my hair done to match my avatar because it was like the only thing that didn't match. So I like have it's like grown out, but like red hair on one side and black hair on the other. And it was fun looking like my avatar, but then after a while I was like, it is a game, like I want to look cool. I want to be a cyborg, like whatever. That's hype. But like finding your own little niche and finding like who you are. The frog is like very you, by the way. Like I'm sure I've already told you this, but like it fits your vibe. I really like it.
Oh yeah.
And what's the ratio?
Better than the worm. I'm sorry about the
you
worm.
there was a worm?
Oh yeah, I used to just run around
my
and
God,
play
the
Rhythm Tear
Marcus.
Out as like, you know, like the Marcus worm from TikTok. I just found like 50 different versions of that avatar, and every set I just wear a different one.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, what's the ratio of like serious to silly in District 1?
We
6-7.
try.
I think we
6,
cover our
7.
eyes and we just like pour it in the pot and stir it in real quick, and then we just give it.
What's
Yeah,
today's
like,
event? We
you
got
know,
80%
dinner served.
fun and 20% seriousness.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah,
We'll find out. Come check
like
us
I
out.
think that's we have the Wednesday events are always genre specific. That was my call because like I think nothing pisses me off more than listening to someone play some crazy dubstep and then I'm listening to like the most progressive house set right after. It kills my vibe. I can't stand it. But then like we have the break room, and I think that's where the silliness comes in. Like we have a few events like break room. We have a new one coming up at the end of the month where it's like play whatever. We do not care. We're inviting you to play whatever you want. So like entertain us, but also entertain yourself. Because like you have that freedom. And even then, during these Wednesday events, like we could have like a dubstep event, but like if someone really wanted to come up and play like 60 minutes, 45 minutes of some silly like find like a 45-minute set of all meme songs that are in the genre theme, I don't think I would care either.
As long as it kind of hits the vibe, and the people that are there to see the show are going to stick around and enjoy the set, comparable to like maybe jumping somewhere else, I suppose. But we're here with District 1. It's VRCDJLIVE. I was just kind of reading my notes because we have a lot of different things to kind of discuss. And I want to make sure that I remind the people in chat that it is a live show. We're actually sitting here answering questions, being silly, talking about stuff. And this is your time, man. This is your time to sit in and talk to Bean and Ken and Ari over here and ask them the questions that you really want about District 1, especially for those people that want to either attend the events or even maybe get started in DJing. You know, one of the many things we talk about on this program is that we forget about that. You know, we're constantly in here doing a thing, and we're really passionate about the things that we do, but we keep forgetting that more and more people are coming into the scene and joining us. And there's a ton of people on YouTube that are constantly searching how to DJ in VR. What's a popular streaming service? What kind of console do I need to use? And I would hate to think that there'd be a second, third, or fourth wave of understanding what a Flex 4 is and understanding how that process is. Because in my eyes and a lot of other people's eyes too, they're thinking about it like, can I still enjoy VRChat with an Index or a Quest or the Steam Frame that's coming up, stuff like that?
Questy game.
Yeah, whatever gets you to come in here and enjoy yourself. Honestly, that's kind of all of that kind of put together. But I want your just a brief opinion on it, and we'll get into a lot more finite details about it. But again, out of doing the whole 1 year anniversary back in March, and being able to see how massive the VRChat rave community is between the three of you, like, how have you been experiencing the growth and popularity of the rave community here in general?
I think it's picking up again. We noticed at the start of the year, and I'm sure a lot of people will notice it too, that it was on like a weird decline, and I can only assume that's like the holidays are over, everyone's getting back to their real life, everyone's getting back to the 9 to 5s, and not wanting to get on the weekdays. But like just before Christmas, like it was like going crazy. There was like 5 events a day, even on the weekdays that were like full or almost full, and like so many different genres. And then it went down to like, even now on Sundays you'll see timeline, and it's only like 2 people or like 2 to 3 clubs like hosting, where like 3-4 months ago that was like 8 to 12 clubs hosting. So I think it's like, it's very weird, where it's like bumpy, like it has its ups and downs, just like any community. Like just like your community, you'll have quiet periods where no one wants to do anything, and I think we're just in one of those. But I do see it like somewhat on a rise again. There's a lot of new smaller groups opening up here that I've been able to interact with through Decked Out, that are doing some crazy stuff. Even like me as a wild builder, I'm reaching out to some of these people asking like, how the hell did you do that? Ravix being one of them. He's an amazing world creator who just opened his group at the Temple. And yeah, like just like that, like Ken said, there's so many places outside of the bubble. I think I had to explain to him what VRC timeline was. Like, people don't understand the timeline exists or VRCPop exists. And once more people start recognizing them like tools that are third-party tools that get more people into the raves, I think we'll start seeing the rise again. I think it's in like a weird limbo right now.
Well, even of the fact too of the popularity of people coming in, and there was a little lull in action for like a couple of months, but also too that when they are coming in and they get to see VRCPop or the timeline, again, a lot of them are still learning that concept and idea. But I also kind of want your opinions too about like where we're headed as not really a profession, I guess a profession, not professional, but a profession of the fact that we're literally doing events. And one of the hit topics that we're going to be talking about a little later on in the program is bedroom DJs are stronger than ever right now. And on top of it too, there's been a lot of talk of people being like, well, if you can't go to the clubs to DJ, you can't do it IRL, start doing it online. And this, I guarantee you, the second thing that's going to come down the line is, where else online can you DJ outside of Twitch or YouTube or Mixcloud or any of those other sources? And they're going to say, here. Because I feel like this is, out of everything else that you could be potentially DJing, whether it be on another third-party site that we've been hearing about, whether it be Kick, or if LFG is still a thing or anything like that, or any other VR platform that we continuously hear about where they're doing events too. People are going to proactively see through social media, let's just say with District 1, who keeps posting stuff, that, this is the scene for that. So being able to pick that up as well, and we'll let Ken continue on with that, the opinion of what he wanted to say.
Yeah, all right, that's interesting with what you had just mentioned. That kind of like changes some things I wanted to say, but I had a question for you, if that's cool. Like, I can ask you questions. This is a conversation.
We're
Yeah. Also,
you're the
I feel
first
like
one.
this
Oh my
might be
gosh, he's
fun.
gonna
I
ask
just
me
need
a
to
question.
shake off some nerves real quick.
Sure.
You were like, we were joking earlier about like putting our hands against the table or whatever. And I was also gonna do a joke about like putting my feet on the desk because like, we have full body, might as well do something with
Can you
that. But
imagine you have the same size desk in your room where you can actually put the
I don't know. Let's find out.
eh,
No, too low.
eh.
Too low. Well, next time. But what I wanted to know is, in your experience, do you find lulls in the year, like multiple, like 2 or 3 maybe? That's what I've noticed. I don't want to like alter what you're going to answer with by giving you like ideas, but like do you find that the scene kind of pulls back and then like shows back up like month to month? Like in like 3-month blocks? I don't know if you've noticed, but like that's my personal like being in the rave community, like really in the last 2 years. There's like this big pullback in January, and then there's like another one like in the summer. And just off of what I remember, and then looking at the stats on VRCPop, like I'm seeing different things. Like this year is acting different than I've experienced in previous years. So I'm curious what you like. How do you see lulls? Are do you see them, one, and like do you think that they're like cyclical too?
See,
Like what do you see
the
there?
problem with asking the host this question, especially me being the
Yeah.
host, is that I can literally sit here and ramble for a full hour, and I'm going to choose not to, because I'm
Okay.
very good at
Well, like
that.
if you could give me a
Yeah.
TLDR.
Yeah, like
Like
I'm very good at talking, and that's probably the reason why I have a podcast.
mhm,
But I will say that and I've had this conversation with my roommate recently because he's in and out of VRChat recently. He caught the bug, and he was like,
yeah.
"Wow, Rob, you have a DDJ 800. That seems kind of cool. I'm gonna buy it." And I'm gonna DJ. I'm like, that's expensive, bro. Like, you should probably start with something smaller. He's like, nope, I'm gonna get this. It's cool, and I want it. And I'm like, cool, great. We're gonna go with that. But I was explaining to him how like there was a time where I went to because I live in Central Florida in Orlando, and I went to UCF, University of Central Florida. They have a
Right.
bar called the Night Library. The night, as in like a night, like a with the shields and stuff
Mhm.
like that. It's not a library; it's a bar, but they made it.
That's
They
cool.
called it a library, so that way they have a saying in the library that says, "If your parents ask, tell them you were at the library." Um,
Mhm.
when they're at the bar, uh, and when I went there, they did open decks. And I was standing in line listening to conversations of what people have had to say, and again eavesdropping, but I'm not saying anything because I don't want to tell them how cool I am as a DJ in virtual reality because they might think I'm weird. But listening to their conversations, they were saying that too. They were like, yeah, got me a Flex 4, and I'm I'm DJing. I DJ'd here like 4 or 5 times already, and what do you play? Oh, I play house. Oh, me too, dude. House is great. And then just kind of have those conversations. I'm just
Mhm.
sitting there going, oh my gosh, these are college kids. What are they doing? And at the same time, I'm sure the internet knows of the artist Wookie, or the producer Wookie, kind of a popular guy. Ended up coming down the second time that I went to this event. Wookie was performing, and there were some college kids, and the college kids bumped into me and said, "Hey, is there gonna be good music here tonight?" And I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Wookie's performing. He's literally coming up on stage." And they're like, "I don't know who Wookie is." I'm like, ugh, I'm gonna just kind of fold into myself. So
Yeah.
outside of all of that, there's it's so strange because the college kids know that there's popularity in being a bedroom DJ outside of their regular studies, but they're also kind of putting into effect that could potentially be a career for them. It could be they could be popular like James Hype or John Summit or Don Dalla or all those other guys you see on social media, where they also have a team that does the social media, and they just kind of wake up and exist and be a DJ. But they're starting to see a lot of that put in motion, that they put in a lot of time and effort to want to become that. Now, here's the thing that answers your question is, after 3 or 4 months, what happens? Burnout. They're not focused. They're not they're not attentive to the idea of wanting to perform. They're not in it for the long haul. They think that if it's on social media, that is something really quick and they can gain popularity from that. When it comes to virtual reality too, is that we are now dealing with not just, I mean, I'm with the millennial crowd. Obviously, there is a strong amount of Gen Z crowd that is coming in here, and then I'm not saying that Gen Alpha is also kind of creeping their way in here too. They're over there. We don't deal too much with them. But like, there's 3 generations now kind of cultivated about what we are proactively wanting to do in here. And just as that there is a barrier between your 20s and your 30s, depending on, I need to make a family, I need babies, I need to get married, I need to, have a career, I need to make money, I need to do full time or whatever. There's a little part of you that's just like, am I doing this for the right reasons? Am I partying more than I am doing a professional? Do I have to shift focus that goes somewhere else? Same thing with the burnout, is that within the 4 or 5 month period, they're still trying to figure out whether or not, should I be coming in and raving all the time? I really enjoy raving all the time, but I can't keep up because the Europeans are doing so much better than all of us are. Especially in virtual reality, the Europeans are doing such a good job. But like, so when it comes to that also adds to the burnout. Is that like when your bros say I'm done, and I there's only 3 months, and even kind of tying into Crazy Frog, right? Listen, we love Crazy Frog. I love Crazy Frog. But when you go see your bro perform Crazy Frog 3 to 4 times, 3 to 4 months, you're expecting it. But at the same time, you're just like, what if something else comes up? I don't want to say anything, what if a new person comes up? What if something else? Popularity, trends and stuff like that. Sure. But that's, in my eyes, that's part of the process. It's the same process as if you were performing for nobody. That every DJ has to. Every DJ needs that experience to perform in front of nobody. Not as a reward or some sort of achievement saying, I did it, I performed for nobody, and I feel okay with it. Or the timid person that doesn't know how to perform in front of a big crowd. So they'll turn around and they'll just kind of do this, and it'll look weird, but at the same time kind of interacting. But to sum things up, I feel like there's a lot of different things to think about when it comes to that sort of thing. But even in virtual reality too, you do have pockets where, and some people said it in chat as well, school's letting out, summer break, people are on vacation. And even during the winter breaks too, it just seems like everybody's so preoccupied based on whatever else that they were doing.
Yeah, okay. So if I could throw like an analogy in there, fingers crossed, against what the data is saying, which is unfortunately saying that the scene as a whole is like quieting down, and becoming like a little more consolidated in the last 5 months. But my hope is that like a balloon that you're trying to dunk underwater, like the more you push it down, the more people will like get that itch to come back in VR, and we bounce back like hard. That's the goal. Like the reason why I was asking you is I was curious because what I've noticed this calendar year is like an 18 to 26% decline in player attendance, while VRChat's having a 20% year-over-year increase in the player base. So like to me that feels wrong. Like why are we shrinking? This community should be bigger. And with like you keep bringing up like people who want a DJ, and that's totally what they should do. Like if you want a DJ, go buy a $100 Newmark Party FX, like, or whatever it's called, Party Mix. Like I DJ'd with that thing for like 2 years. Like you can full send. I do all my sets on a $200 controller, and I just look through the nose hole on my Quest. Like anyone can do it. You just gotta like full send it. And I've been there where it's like you're playing for just the staff and maybe one person. And like I'd always say like, oh, I'm doing it for the recording, and like it's grueling, but like you need to have that, like you need to start somewhere. The first time I played in a full instance, I puked. I like joined the lobby, didn't look. I like enter the room, I start lagging immediately, and I was like, I need to take off the headset. I'm running to a trash can. And like I think that's a hell of an experience. Like if you want to DJ, like going through all of it is totally worth it. But my like big flag is like burnout is real. I used to say yes to everyone. Like anyone who wanted to book me, they're like, "Oh, Ken's always taking bookings." Like, book, yes, 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 yes. I'll do 4 a night. I'll do 4 on a weeknight. I'll do like 8 sets on a weekend. I'll do 11 sets on a weekend. Why not? Fuck it, we ball. Sorry for, you said I could curse. Okay. Um, but like the DJ's journey, the hero's journey that you can do is like so much fun. And I think it's a serious problem that like, why is the scene like this? And I hope it's like what you're saying with like burnout, like people just go too hard, too fast, and like maybe they just need like to tap back into reality and then come back and it's just a game. Like it, I think it needs to be just a game. Personally, I I I think of it only as a hobby. Like I would love to be John Summit. That's so cool. That's so cool. But like I'm also like very content with my day job and like it's what I have time for and when I'm out of it, I'm like hanging out with my cat. Like it's totally a hobby to me, but the networking, like the amount of people you can meet and stuff is so huge. Like we need I'm leading on to something. I'm saying like I think like collectively as a scene we need to like pull together and offer more resources to each other. Like I've been seeing on Blue Sky people are like, "Oh, here's how you optimize your avatar. I'm working on it." Sorry anyone who has to see me in lobbies. Um and stuff like that. And like I'm making VRCPop and you have like Timeline and you have like there's a few other websites too. I didn't even know about them like until recently. They're Japanese. I don't know the URLs off the top of my head. But uh what I'm trying to get to is that I think we could like systematically start working against the burnout. I hate seeing clubs implode. Like they show up, they like shine really fucking bright, and then bam, they're gone. Like something happens and their like infrastructure isn't set up like ours where it's more like decentralized. And I've seen club owners like where all the work is just on them. And if they're sick, the event doesn't happen. Like there's all these little lessons that all these club owners pick up and we like teach each other, but it I think it needs to be more like open book, to be honest. Um Not saying there should be a playbook, but like DJing is so much fucking fun that like anyone who wants to should. They should get into the scene. Like it's it's great to get in for good music and see like someone you shout out bebop. Whenever I see bebop in an instance, I know the music's going to be good. Like if you have people to come back to, I think that helps with the burnout as well. Like when you dig yourself into like a little corner, find a club like District 1 and you're like this is my home club. Like I think that's a great term and I think we need to do that more. I have a lot of thoughts and I've been rambling for a bit, but um to the point of like the scene changing and there being so much burnout, I think we gotta do something about it. Like, I don't want my niche to die, you know? We're in a niche and a niche and a niche. And, like, seeing the stats, like, slowly dip down, not only in attendance collectively, so, like, not, like, performance isn't great, but, like, the number of venues you can go to, you even mentioned it, has been, like, dwindling not dwindling, but down like 60% on average since like our peaks earlier in the year. I don't know. I like it's all out there. We all just need to talk more, I guess. It's just so much. It's
yeah.
like every day.
So
Like
the you were putting a lot of puzzle pieces on the table, and I think collectively we're
yeah.
trying to connect them, and that's important because I would
Mm,
rather us, and this is kind of the reason why VRC DJ Live is a thing, is for us to talk about these things, so that way we don't see what ends up happening with some of those clubs that we adore or the things that we've known in the past kind of fade away into whatever. But in proper trending fashion is when one club does really well, someone's bound to hit that bar and want to go over the bar and try to make something even better.
Mhm.
And it's not even just a matter of me just sitting here being an old man and just being like, well, I told you so. You should have prepared. You should have had a safety plan. No, like it's all learning. We're all learning different things. Going back to what you were saying about like the people in our lives in VR chat that we wish that would have a resurgence, that's normal. I feel like everyone has to experience that on their own accord, especially, I've been in this game since 2018. All those 2017 and all those 2018 people that were in here doing memes and content creation and stuff like that, they fizzled out because they either had another distraction in their life, they had something else more important to go to, or they got tired of the game. Some of them have returned. Some of them, believe it or not, are a part of your community. And I see them in there and I'm just like, wait a minute, when did you guys start raving? And they're just like, we're having fun. And I'm like, cool. I'm excited for you because originally like you left and now you're having fun now. So that's exciting. But I'm not saying that's going to happen with everybody, but that tends to happen just because, as I've mentioned before, there's this cosmic like revolving door when it comes to, okay, where do my priorities lie? Maybe the drama has something to do with it. That tends to be a big factor in our community that we never want to talk about, obviously. But like, there's always room for better socializing. There's room for better opportunities to do that thing. The way that we're kind of, the way I'm looking at it is, I think VRChat is doing a great job at promoting the existence of the things that we do in here. And I think they're getting better at that. It's not going to be 100% right away, but the one thing that really tickled my fancy recently was the fact that not only is VRChat being represented at TwitchCon Rotterdam, but TwitchCon actually posted on their socials of the official VRChat meetup happening at TwitchCon Rotterdam. And I was just like, for a platform that Twitch ended up saying straight out the gate that it's too sandbox that they want to put on the front page, it's blowing my mind now. Like, what? They're actually doing stuff together? They're actually holding hands and being friends for now? Like, this is incredible. But this is the same kind of conversations that I've had with Tupper and Straz even before on the program before too. I'm just like, we have tons of communities in here that do some pretty amazing things. But if you were to take a look at the new trailer for VRChat, if you were going to check it out on the Steam store, which I recommend, go check it out. One of the very first things that the animated characters do when they come into VR is go to a rave. So I had to ask them, I'm just like, how important is VRChat right now as part of the infrastructure plan of promotion for the platform? And I can understand too, Rec Room is going to be closing their doors fairly soon, in a couple of weeks. As far as I remember, those kids are going to need to go someplace. They're going to want to come in here and
Look it all up.
yeah. No, it's like, we have all these things on the table, and I'm just like, this is the time where you put down your hands and say, you know what? This is a lot of work. But at the same time, we need to talk about it because again, we're going to experience it. The revolving door of burnout will happen. And the people that are so passionate and dedicated, and not to break the fourth wall, especially for you, Ken, because I know you and I have had personal conversations about VRCPop, and I was just like, I like your concept. I want to see more to see what happens with it. I've been so impressed with VRCPop that you've been generating some really great user interface with it that makes it super easy to, and we're going to talk about it. It's important, right? It's the next step of understanding our platform and the things that we do here.
Sticker.
We got the sticker here too.
Yeah, but I see where it is on camera, so if I plop it over there, it'll show up in the background.
Oh yeah. There, you can
Yeah, I hope that's
everybody
okay.
squint your eyes
okay.
or turn
I
your
can
head
take
like
it.
that, and maybe you'll be able to see it from there. But
Maybe we'll understand.
but like these tools are so important to the longevity of the things that we do. And from someone that has had entertainment experience working in radio and professional radio and stuff like that, and working with record labels and stuff, like I want to know, because now I have to sell your product too. Like I got to say how amazing District 1 is, and having you guys on the show. We've only been on the show for an hour, and you're definitely wanting people to come in, and you're doing a fantastic job with that so far. But these are the types of conversations that are super important. Being able to come in and perform and not have those high expectations right away are great practice for incoming DJs and for those that are saying, hey, you know, I could be the next Dom Dollar if you choose to. You got to do some practice and you pay a little bit of attention and kind of go through all the different things. But I can understand where the anxiety lies when it comes to the revolution of new clubs. I know for Bean, I know there's a struggle with making new popular maps outside of the convenience of there's tons of maps. Which ones do we go to? Oh, we've already been to this one. It's not funny anymore. Let's make a new one. And you're like, ugh, frustration. But in the case of like, and I heard this, and maybe people in chat will boo or something. People have said that that Merles is of legendary status. He's goated. That means that his time is done. When it's not. He's just getting started. But I feel like people, you know, I mean, Merles has been doing other things. But at the same time, with all these new upcoming DJs, it just seems like, well, Merles had his time, you know? And that we shouldn't be saying it like that, too. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I don't think so.
Do you want me to try to rephrase it, or?
Yeah, if you could, if you don't mind.
So I'll use myself as an example, right?
Mm-hmm.
The drinking night guy, you know, they're like, oh, well, the drinking night guy either doesn't exist or he's, you know, there's got to be someone better than the drinking night guy. And then everyone's going to be kind of moving towards the more popular option. I'm not saying that I'm done. Obviously, I got tons of DJing left in me. And
I'm saying come to our open decks, spin for us, go crazy.
There you go.
Know? Wiggle out of your comfort zone, like, you know, join us. Why not?
It was just
like, you know, even if it's a night, you know,
it's just,
that's cool.
It's just little things like that I hear, and I'm just like, ooh, you know, and like, we want to make space for the new DJs. We want to also celebrate the DJs that are possibly performing right now. But I feel like all of us in the room kind of celebrate the same fact of like, when we do see Ken on the lineup 5 times on a weekend, you know, I'm not saying, is it going to be a special set every time? Because a lot of people will say, well, maybe.
I ask myself that too. That's like recently why I've taken a good hiatus. Like it gives me like such a rush, and there's like a difference between freestyling and going with the flow and like with what the crowd's reacting with, and then like something pre-made that's like refined and like you've polished. And I used to like make polished stuff, and then I was just having so much fun freestyling that like I felt like I was losing that. So like I'm taking a little break to kind of lock in there. But I don't think, like, if you still have that itch, then I think you're all right. Like, I don't think your time's over. The game's here for everyone. Like, I don't. Here's another thought: is that like I don't really think about age in here. Everyone's kind of like the same, so it's. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying at this point.
I think a lot of regular
You're not
people.
a boomer.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what
I
I'm
don't
saying.
feel like a boomer either. That's the thing. I'm bald, but
I don't mean to label you.
I'll never grow hair. But I mean, listen, I got to enjoy my hair while I have it. But but that's the thing, is the attention span thing. It's the same thing with the maps. It's the same thing with overall experiences. Is that if you have a raver going to District 1, there's an expectation that there will be even more maps or more better visuals than the best visuals you've ever put out. They're always expecting that. And unfortunately, for everybody's attention spans, especially because of social media and TikTok and Instagram, it dwindles even more. You know, like they're gonna want it a week ago as opposed to yesterday. So it's like they've always want something better and greater and whatever, and that's just how most of those trends kind of piece together. So the anxiety part of it kind of leans into the readiness of it, that you have to consistently create. And the same thing with taking a break. I'm not saying that you're done DJing, but it's always like, oh, Ken's taking a break. We're going to see him for like 4 months, and it's it. He's going to retire. It's over. And
and then oops.
But
I'm here on an open deck.
But guess what? That's what it's like in the IRL business. You got DJs that are grinding so hard that they don't want to slip up because they know that someone younger than them is going to step in and be like, and dethrone them. And then they get nervous about that. And that's reality in the VR chat world too. Like, the people need to experience that. I'm not saying that it's going to happen, and I'm not saying that you have to work yourself to the bone, but you know, it's the hard realization that we have to kind of get into. It's VRCDJLIVE. We're sitting in with Bean and Ken and Ari here of District 1, and man, we're just chewing at the bone here. You know, listen, we got some hard topics to talk about. We got some even more hard topics to talk about, and even fun stuff too that we're going to be talking about. It's very fun. I want to talk about VRCPop because I got to explore a little bit the other day, and I was just kind of going around the website, just enjoying myself. So glad to have everybody here in chat. Of course, feel free to drop off your questions or comments and anything that you want to talk about here on the program. I want to dive into the definitive. I want to dive in how you guys even got in here. You know, I feel like a lot of people, we fail to ask the guests when they are performing or when they are doing an event, you know, like how did Bean even sprout their way into VR chat? Was it a music thing to begin with, or was it a Unity thing? Was it a VR thing?
It was COVID. I think for a lot of people around that time, COVID hit. No one's allowed to go outside. It's bad. You got frowned upon if you were close to people. And I was like, well, I still want something to do. I think I had just got my CV1, the original Oculus, for Christmas that year for a family member. And I would play Beat Saber. I think that's the only thing I ever touched that headset for. I was like, you know what, Beat Saber. I had downloaded VRChat. I had maybe played 30 minutes. And I was like, this isn't for me. And that's simply because of like the places I'd go to. I'd go to these, like, I think the Black Cat around that time had maybe just started opening. There was a few, like Void Club was a thing back in COVID.
Publix.
Yeah, like I would public hop.
The non-age group Publix.
The Publix.
That was when the VR as a whole, like the Quest wasn't even, like the Quest 1, that wasn't even like announced yet. And so like you had all these people with their like super expensive hardware. And how am I meant to convince my gamer friends that I play these setup games with, like, guys, this VR thing is amazing. This is the next big thing. Now spend $600+ to come join me. And it was like, that's just never going to happen. And I think like I would come back forth. And all it took was just one day where like you just got to find someone you click with, a group of people. And I think I went from touching this game once a month to I was playing 8 hours a day during COVID with the same group of people. And thankfully it was like Void Club. It's basically always been music in here for me. I went to a few of their events and then it died down. I took a 2-year break once COVID obviously ended and life picked back up. And I got back in. I drunk with a homie and it was a Nuzzle Squad event. And I think this is my first introduction to the rave scene. I'd been to the drinking groups that are like the house party-esque groups where it's like a DJ, massive world, lots of drinking games. And that never really speaks to me, but it was a Nuzzle Squad event. It was this tiny venue. And I can't remember the DJ's names now. This was like 4 years ago. And it was a back-to-back. And I was like, there's no way these guys are doing this in VR. And the more I watched people dance, because I was a half body, still on that CV1, and literally used that until it died. Praise be. And I was like, this is where I need to be. Like, I was in college at the time for music, and though we have a music program here where I live for college, the music scene is tiny. We have one nightclub in the whole city that people really go to that is DJ centric. Everything else is live music. So I was like, that's not really my vibe. It's all drum and bass anyway. And I was like, well, here I was listening to dubstep. 30 minutes later, it was hard techno. 30 minutes later, it was house music. And I was like, I need to start doing this myself. I bought like a 60-pound, like $70 deck. And that was it. From there, it was only raves. VR and like the headset, all this equipment has all been for just raving. And ever since then, yeah, it's just been that.
When you took your time off and then you came back into the scene, were you introduced to that right away, or did you just kind of learn about some of the new changes and say, okay, this is starting to get cooler now?
So a lot like I feel like every VR chat player will have this like this turning point in their game. You make this amazing group of friends and you think, oh my god, these are people I could see myself hang out with in real life. And then something goes wrong, and it always happens. You don't speak to them, that group ever again. I feel like every person on VRChat has had that experience where you don't speak to these people. It happens IRL too. Think about all the people you hung out with in high school and you plan to buy a house together and like still talk, and you just don't talk to them. And that's what like happened to me. Shit just went south. I stopped playing the game. Like the people that incentivized me to get on the game weren't there anymore. And I didn't want to go through the hassle of having to find a new friend group at the time when I already had other friends that wanted to play other games with me. And I think how I got back in was just like one of my mutual friends had bought a headset and they didn't want to pay. Like they had already spent all that money and they weren't really interested in Beat Saber. It'd been a few years since I had touched VRChat. And I was like, well, this is a free game. I don't really know much about it. You don't know anything about it. So let's go see what it's about. We were just world hopping, like finding avatars. Back then it was so simple. Like Udon was like, I think we were still on SDK 2. No one knew anything about making a cool game world. So like it was all just like static, really low textured objects. And even then we were just able to fuck around. And admittedly, back then, like it was kind of trolly. Like you got on to like meme around and troll people and like get a giggle out of yourself. Unfortunately, not always the best way to go about it. But like I feel like the way we did it, it was fun. We had fun, and because of that, and because of the enjoyment I was having, it just kept me staying on the game and making more friends because of it. Because like you would have a bad interaction, but like 99% of the time you would make this joke, it would be a funny bit, you get a friend request, you join that person a week later and do it all over again, and you get more friend requests, repeat, and now like I think at this point I've got maybe 3.5k friends on this game. I maybe only know 100 of them personally, but that's like over the last 7 years I've made that many friends and had a positive interaction to keep me loading into the game.
I feel like that's kind of similar with the rave scene too. It's just like you get that one guy that's in the avatar that you like, or you guys have had one interaction, and then you see them a week later, and you're like, "You're the guy!" You know, it's like, "Oh, you're here!" Like, "Oh my gosh!" Like I think for the longest time when I was in here a couple the first year, my avatar's face is from another character, and she's tiny. So someone would come in as this tiny version. I'm just like, my baby. He was like, oh, it's my little sister or something like that. And then later I found out that it was just like this like really heavy mid 30-year-old man just like acting as this child. And I'm just like, great, good job. I'm glad you're here. Kind of a thing. Why Bean?
I think
why would you go Bean?
I really don't remember. Like it's always been a variation of Bean. One way or another, and like just everything I did VR related has been Bean. And one day I just shot the trigger and I was like, I'm gonna see how low I can get it to Bean. Because like it was always something before or after the Bean. And I think about a year and a half ago, I was lucky to find like Bean tilde. And I just stuck with it. I've never bothered to change it. I don't know why. I think it's cool. I was one of them people who's like, oh my god, it's cool to have a short username. Because like it's rare, like an amazing like large social platform. That's just a talking point in itself. It's like, how did you get this 3-letter username? Like that's crazy. That means you've been playing the game for a long time. You might have cool stuff to show me.
Might be better as Bean than someone that's Cake. You know, and they're like, oh, you must like cake. Yeah, I guess so. I guess your name is Cake.
Everyone makes the baked bean joke, especially because I'm British. They like, oh my god, baked beans. I think they're disgusting. Baked beans are gross. And if you like baked beans, that's gross.
Well,
I'm judging.
There's a difference between UK baked beans and American baked beans. I don't know about any other place, but you know, you can. From what I hear, you can eat the Heinz beans out of the can. The tomato sauce is good.
Yeah.
So you were just mentioning how you were studying music. Had any sort of correlation that you wanted to do with District 1, or?
Maybe down the line. I was again, it was during COVID, unfortunately, and I really wanted to get into like the live sound engineering and backstage tech work. And because COVID was happening, I wasn't really able to get any connect. Like, as I'm sure people in the chat and other people know, music, you need networking, you need connections to get in. Unfortunately, that is just how this space and scene works. Even in VRChat, if you want to play at District 1, you need to know someone who can invite you to the Discord so you can ask to play at District 1. And if you don't know how to do that, then how are you going to get to that point? And it was just like, yeah, COVID hit. All these live venues where I could get this experience, get these phone numbers of people that could possibly push me to get more experience and get my name out there, it just didn't exist. So it didn't really take off much, which I think is why I'm enjoying the VRChat scene so much, is because it's so cheap. Obviously the VR equipment is not cheap, but like to think that you can spend £60 or dollars or whatever for the bare bones equipment, no different to like buying a racing wheel if you really, really like cars, and get to experience your hobby and do it daily. And some people, like you said, like that is a pathway to getting out there IRL. Like I think recently I was talking in our staff chat, like I'm now applying and pushing my SoundCloud, which is all VRChat related content, to these IRL venues and be like, this is my sound, this is the music I play. Like I would love to play for you guys sometime. And I'm hoping that's like I'm hoping I'm able to use VRChat as a platform to start doing that.
I'm really hoping that we can carry on with that conversation, because that's so important for all of us, especially moving forward with a lot of groups and a lot of communities are doing more VR IRL type of content. I know this past weekend at FWA, there was a big like crossover detour event with a bunch of VRChat DJs and stuff like that. And between that and Four Seasons is doing stuff in Amsterdam, and obviously Shelter's pushing it out to Japan. You know, we want to have these conversations outside of just the hobbyist nature, because there's so much potential. Like everyone that DJs in here has great potential to be able to carry on, maybe make some money or get out there, be noticed a little bit more. But being able to identify that your work in here has meaning, and the stuff that you create in here has weight and meaning professionally, that you can do stuff IRL without someone being like, I mean, it would make the most sense if you showed up wearing the frog hat saying this is me in virtual reality, and then they'd be like, wait a minute, frog hat. Like they'll do that, and that's fine, but like, you know, there's got to be more to it. There's more substance to it than just the frog hat. I want to be able to push it off to Ken, because I feel like you have a lot of musical skill. Outside of doing,
I'm pushing it off to Kissari. We're doing
we're doing it that way.
Background stories. I'm pushing it to Kissari.
Okay.
I'd love to know.
Actually, let's just say it like this. There's a lot of people in chat that say that your photography is fantastic in here. You want to talk about that?
It is.
Thank you for everybody who's saying that. So long story short, I am graphic designer through and through. Took some photography classes in college. That's like the background. When I got into VR, it's more recently actually that I got into the photography, but biggest shout out is to our co-owner Nitsuwa, who is like my biggest inspiration. That and Mojo Peg is also like a huge inspiration when it comes to photography with DJing. And I'm starting to also branch out with mini photo shoots and stuff. I recently did like a little photo shoot collab with someone who does their own work. It's all freelance as well. Like I literally just hop into either a friend's instance and watch them DJ. Like Ken will be playing at XYZ random venue number 17. And I'll just be like, I'm gonna take photos for him because he's my friend. Or the DJ up there is like really banger, and I'll just take photos because I want to take photos. Like it's just that I like the photo. It was.
So when it comes to just getting into VRChat, I mean, were you kind of looking to do more of that, or is that just something that connected when you were in here saying, wait a minute, there's a camera system? I think, is VRC Lens still a thing? I don't know any additional add-ons or DLCs to the camera. It is.
I don't use it, actually. All of my stuff is with the bare basic vanilla camera. I don't even edit my photos at all. Everything is stock. But it is something that I just kind of fell into.
It doesn't. I mean, I would assume that it helps that the world creator that puts in the lighting and the shadows and all the extra added everythings to the world helps with those bare bones photos.
Yeah. I actually love playing with the shader work. Sometimes they are a little rough, and I do like I'll like sneak over and be like, hey, can we mess with the lights a little bit? But I only do that at our venue because the light system person is like my actual partner who is on the other side of the wall for me.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the system, not the.
Oh,
Oh, like physically
yeah,
on
I
the
don't
other
know.
side of the
Yeah,
wall.
yeah, Don.
I don't know.
Don is the
I don't
shader
know
in the next
anything
room.
about how the lights and the shaders work. I will. Oh yeah, Don is like my physical partner. He's over there, and he's like actually the one that got me into VR.
So when it comes to doing photography in here, I know that I feel like that's kind of the unsung hero role of our community, because while the DJs are doing a thing, the community is there, and the community can always just whip out their camera and do that. Same thing goes with like, well, I have a camera on my phone, I could just, and like that's fine, but to be able to showcase what we do here with more creativity and more based on graphic design, even the poster work too, I feel like is continues to be underutilized when promoting a lot of the things that we do in here, and I want to find better ways to be able to showcase that sort of thing. So out of everyone that's been doing photography work in here, and a lot of the unsung heroes, how can we continue to like not only promote the existence of doing better photos for these clubs, but also kind of showing it to people from outside of our VRChat community, saying, look at all the fun things that we've got cooking up in here. And I know this is going to be a little bold and brash to say, but I think that there are a lot of people outside of our VRChat community that just think that we're all horny demons, cat girls, furries.
Wow.
In all honesty, sometimes I do actually. I post a lot of my photos on Blue Sky, and they gain a little bit of traction outside of the community itself. Like people who do their own content, and they hang out at Black Cat, or they hang out in their own like whatever community. They'll like find our photos that I reshare or I post. And then I've had friends from outside of the community come in because of that, and I think it's kind of cool actually. Do you mind reiterating your first point?
So we have a lot of photographers in here, and we're looking for better ways to like showing photos online and on social media is helping that idea. It's helping the idea that we have events. They're amazing. They're beautiful. The dancers in here have some really good particle effects. They're telling a story. But just as we were talking with Bean about being able to showcase it to like IRL, like if you wanted to put together a portfolio of your pictures and showcase it in an art gallery, for example, there has to be means of being able to like describe the things that we do in here that have just the great amount of significance as if it were an IRL live event.
Okay. I will say that this is like mainly a hobby, so I don't think of it in professional standards a lot. But I will say DJs who passively are aware of the camera, like know where to look, are actively aware of like this. Oh god, my lag. Like I see the camera right here, and I know it's there, and I know you're taking a photo or a video of me. If they are aware, that makes the photos like more lively, in my opinion. Like it feels like I'm actually interacting within that scene. Um I'm trying to find words. I'm not really
Is it weird to say it's not like
super
a
good.
zoo? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not behind the
Like we're not
glass.
gathered around. We're not gathered around like this. I don't feel like I'm just like over here off to the side, like staring at like a random thing. I feel like I'm actually like focused, if that makes sense.
And like, I think that's also part of the understanding, like the showmanship of DJing 101 is that not only do you have to cater to the crowd as a DJ, interact with your crowd, but also, interact with someone that really wants to take a really good capture of your essence. And being, a little bit of a showman and, putting your hands up or, doing the actual thing, locking in, staying focused, presenting your character and stuff like that. And all of those pictures and all the multimedia that's being used in VR aids to the legitimacy of what we do in here to begin with. I think in previous years, VRChat has been getting some pretty bad reps on YouTube about like things like proximity chat or, grooming and stuff like that. And like, it's so hard to bounce back from that. But as a community of ravers, we're doing that next step of saying we're doing things. We're promoting our existence. We're making amazing things. We're making original things. We're taking photos that have meaning, especially for the like I consider photographers and cosplayers at convention have to work together, because as a cosplayer, you look great, but you need the photographer to make sure you look great. The photographer needs the cosplayer to make sure that their work shines and their portfolio looks fantastic as well. You wouldn't hire a wedding photographer that doesn't have really good wedding photos, but you also can't have a staged wedding. I mean, I guess you could. I mean, you could pay the people to do that, but in the case of what we do in here, action shots, moving shots, the lighting, having everyone's avatars look a specific way. I know certain worlds, my skin looks more like a plastic doll than most, but depending on the lighting and how I kind of put things together. But so with your skills of being a photographer, what are some added things that you're hoping to do within District 1 to continue promoting the existence of what we do here?
In all honesty, I'm hoping just to promote all of our DJs. In all honesty, photography is my way of giving back in some ways. Yeah, I sit here. I dance floor denizen is what I've been called before with some of my friends. But like Ken has his system up on his screen. He can't see me dancing, but he can see the photos that I've taken for him. So he has a memory of the set that he played.
And I think all of that's important too, especially I feel like there's many things as a DJ you need to do. Record your sets, make clips, post them online. I know we keep talking about Instagram, how Instagram's starting to pop off more. Even hearing from IRL professionals throughout the Winter Music Conference and Ultra and stuff like that, they're using Instagram religiously. So the fact that we're constantly doing that, and again, with Twitch and TikTok, now that a lot of groups like, for example, you or Rave Factory or I'm trying to think of some other groups. There's also a lot of other content creators through VRChat that are using TikTok as well that have just been like I search for the hashtag VRChat from time to time, but it just shows up organically, and I'm just like, great, here's a bunch of VR content, and now all of that continues to look good and represents us very well. So obviously the work that you do is fantastic, and hearing it from chat, again, kudos to you for really capturing some really good moments and representing our rave community and District 1 collectively together. Super important. Speaking of which, dead center in front of me here, Ken wanted to be last in this conversation of getting into VR. I was going to lead into the idea of like maybe you were doing music before VR, but how did you stumble into VR to even begin with?
I think it was also the pandemic for me. It was actually really cool. So lockdown happened, and I was just like trapped there with like 3 dudes, like my roommates, and we were like, what are we gonna do? Like we all got Quest 2s, and like VRChat was like the place to go. I think at that point I was already playing on my Vive. But I was a mirror dweller. I was a black cat and a midnight rooftop mirror dweller for like 4.5 years. That was my thing. Sitting there listening to music. Like I wasn't DJing, but like finding a nice corner and you're playing your own music and then people like slowly come over and they're all like into that vibe. I think that like kind of started it. But the way I found the scene was like super by accident. I was with a partner at a time and we went to a birthday party and I heard a whisper of like the magic words open deck and I'd never played before. And prior to that, it was like like 20 straight nights, not like in a row, but like myself in a Void Club alone DJing for like 3 hours. And like someone would join and I'd be like, oh shit. And then they would just immediately leave. And it was just like, whatever, you know, like I'm here to vibe. I'm here to listen to my own music. That's the focus. But like those thoughts were there. But I heard the magic words open decks. I had to ask someone to ask someone to ask someone who knew the owner. Shout out Moot from Batissi. They let me play my first open deck. And then shout out Kozin, who heard me at my first open deck and then plugged me into like everyone else. They were like, yo, you got to hear this person. They just played Justin Bieber Baby on top of Excision. Like, there's something here, maybe. And then, like, I just played at another place and then met a bunch of people. And then I was like, oh shit, you have places over here. Like, I'd love to play there too. Like, being really nice and just like, I don't know, it's not hard to be nice. And just doing that like opens a lot of doors. That's what I've found.
So what's so impressive to me too, and not to cut you off
Wait,
there.
I'm so sorry. I don't mean to cut you off,
Ooh.
but I need to cut you off before we pivot topics.
Locked in.
Shout out photographers, shout out videographers. McWaffles runs the TikTok for Rave Factory, the Rave Factory VR. Awesome. Shout out Hooks with a Z on YouTube. They're making the most insane like dolly camera, heavily like so curated videos of sets, and they're just like they're on every night like recording. They'll get on like an hour before the set. They'll get in the world before anyone's there, and they'll just be like placing dollies around. I've never witnessed them because they're like a Pikachu, but they're killing it. They're killing it, and I want to shout them out because those are the people who are like putting our best foot forward for the entire community. Like photos and videos are proof that like we're in here, we're having fun, and we're not all that degenerate. You know, like there's a good vibe here, and just people just don't know about it.
Look at that one that because we spoke about it in the meeting a month ago where we were talking about like the TikTokers and these like the younger audiences starting to stream these VRChat raves through TikTok and start uploading videos, and you were like kind of concerned about it. You're like, is this going to bring in the trolls and everything? When you think about it, the only way people are going to see things outside of proximity chat is these people being confident enough to stream their experiences and upload their experiences for everyone to see. And it's going to be a big step because like not everyone's interested in music and no one wants to listen or watch someone DJ for an hour in VRChat on a YouTube video when they could be there by themselves. But every little step is a big step for the community, even if it's small in like the terms of VRChat YouTubing. But like if we're not putting stuff online, how are they going to see anything else but proximity chat?
It's great to see. It's great to see that people are being a little bit more versatile when it comes to the content and kind of going back to that. It's not much of a fear. It's more of a what do we need to do to cross the bridge when we see stuff like that and combat it. The way I look at it is everyone has to deal with those problems at any given time when you're performing. You know, like you don't expect to get hit in the head with a water bottle at an event. You don't expect to get jumped. You don't expect to all these things, right? And in virtual reality, it's almost the exact same thing. Is occasionally we have trolls, occasionally we have people coming in here thinking that their necessity is priority. And either staff has to deal with it or, you know, the DJ's going to have to deal with it. I mean, I'm lucky enough that as a VR DJ, we don't get requests as often as the drunk whoever at the bar that will come up and say, can you play Bad Bunny? Can you play Justin Bieber? I don't know. You know,
play something really slow.
Yeah.
I know you're playing something really fast right now, but this is my favorite song. Please? Like
Oh, and it's your birthday? Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always the birthday.
But like, again, these shout outs are important, and I'm glad that you were able to cut me off because listen, this is your time. This is, you know, again, I out of any guest that I've ever wanted to have on the program, I want them to be like, no, these are my 2 hours. I'm going to sit here and I'm just going to And I'm like, preach, bro. Like, I
Nice
want to hear it. Tell them why you're mad, you know.
Well, technically.
So I'm really glad that you're able to do that and be able to explain that, because that's super, we have to shout out these people that are continuously presenting us in such a positive light. I forgot who I ended up interviewing many, many moons ago, but I asked them, I'm just like, what can we do to combat this? And they all said, continue to make stuff. That's it. At the end of the day, that's what we're doing. If you're going to be a better DJ, continue to DJ. If you want to be a better world creator, make more worlds. Not don't make just one world, make many worlds. If you're going to be a producer, write music. It can be silly, you can do whatever. Your first picture, your first graphic design isn't going to be the best. I learned that drop shadows exist. I didn't learn about that until like 2 years into it. And I'm like, man, that looks so much cooler. Oh. I know it's kind of an overused process, but like, I love drop shadows. They make things more 3D, more stickery, I guess.
Me too.
So
they
more 3D.
Oh, and then like it all depends on where the angle is too. You have to play like around with all the different little things.
Yeah, and also like again, the people that are in here to make the DJs look good, and even like we were explaining too, that you want to be able to put together a process of having a night where some of the new DJs can test themselves and say, hey, am I ready for the big time? Am I ready to perform? Am I going to have a little bit of hesitation? Yeah, I know our VRCDJLIVE thing is kind of going a little weird here, but
pushing through.
Yeah,
there's like probably a storm outside, like the power in here,
maybe there could be something passing through at the same time. I wouldn't want to think it's the CDN, but because that's how I'm operating off the CDN. So if you see a little bit of a glitchy stuff, again, it's a live program, VRCDJLIVE. It's not pre-recorded. So we're here to kind of talk about that type of thing. I want to break down, I was going to ask you a very funny question too. And then you interrupted me, and then I was just like,
oh no.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, did I cut you off?
Yeah, I was like, I was so ready to start asking you questions about it, but like,
oh shucks.
I think we'll kind of get back to it because obviously the more important part of it is, let's dive into it a little bit. What inspired you? Because as a DJ, you're just DJing. I would assume that you've had a little bit of a past with making web design or an understanding of not just like statistics, but like, VRCPop is like, I have Squarespace and that works, but I'm not like a web designer, and I'm not going to use AI to be like, well, what do you think about this? And I'm like, no, that's garbage. So how did all of that click for you? Because obviously you were looking for something better to do and better way to showcase the things, but you seem to have a lot of experience in this.
Well, like I code for work, I code for fun, so I'm like always coding. I really don't play video games anymore. Or like I don't know why I said anymore. Like since I stopped playing League of Legends in like 2018 because it made me too angry. I don't want to talk about it. That game is not healthy.
I hear that it's bad. I want to ask about it, but at the same time, they're just like, don't ask about it.
Heimerdinger one trick, 1 million mastery points, baby. If anyone understands that, I'm so sorry. Don't judge me. I was gonna bring up something. Wait, what did you just say? Were you just asking me a question?
Well, we were talking about VRCPop and how you were as a musician, like as a DJ, you come into DJ, but like because VRCPop has its own unique little like UI, or I'm not really sure what the actual word is.
Cute.
Yeah, it has the aesthetic to it. How did you even be able to develop that with the mind of the VR DJs?
Okay, that's a perfect question. That's like a great question. I always see it through the eyes of the DJs or the users. Like the keyword that I love is like frictionless experience. And that's like the coding gold mine. Like if I have to go to your site and click 5 things to do one thing, that's awful. That's terrible. You're wasting everyone's time. And like a lot of my coding stuff, like my macros and my programs and all that stuff just automate simple tasks for me. So like coding and building tools for myself and others is already something I've been doing, but most of it's been like useless crap until like the last couple years. Until I was like, oh shit, I'm in a community, I see problems, and I want to fix them. And my issue was like with the way the community is like lined up, you need to know to like know, and that sucks. And with resources out here like Timeline, like VRC Timeline, where you can see like where performers are and like you see their posters in the lineups. I think a lot of us in the rave community like live and breathe that website. It is like the only place you can go dot 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 to like find stuff. And like there used to be Party Hub on Discord, but like that has like I hear it's like shifted to Timeline just because people go for what's more convenient. And I like I just had so many I wish there was this. I wish there was this. Like I want to bring more people in, but like there's how do I navigate a website that's just text and it's all gray? Like that's not interactive, that's not user focused, that's not frictionless. And the goal of VRCPop eventually is like find what's poppin'. And fingers crossed one day, like 90% of the bubbles on the page will all be labeled. Right now, like a club owner has to claim their bubble and like make an event and label their time slots. Like here's Bean and they're playing really intense dubstep, like Tear Out, or they're playing like casual house. And with like just those tags and like the owners putting in like a little bit of like extra work, that gives everyone in the community like a spot. Like if you look at that, you can see it, but like they can't on the camera. District 1 is on like the top right corner, and you can see that like we're playing, I think it was like EDM that night. Um and like at a glance, I wanted people to be like, what's going on? Like your eye catches techno, I'm going there. Click the bubble, join instance, launch world. Like I'm in. That's all you need to do. Like it could be less clicks, but I am at the minimum. Like I'm it as frictionless as it could possibly be. Um, ish. I'm always making new stuff. But like that's the goal. It's always like to give back, I guess. You were saying that with photography. It's like I love this shit. This is awesome. I love raving with my friends. That's sick. And like if I could help them and like have something to like drill my brain on to code for 8 hours just for funsies, like I'll do that. Why not?
I know I want to dive a lot more into it in just a few minutes because there is a tie-in to all of this with Bean, and it's one of the things that I noticed on the website too that made it unique, and I feel like that tied in with Decked Out and how you were putting together this modification to the Discord and being able, because I think previously people were like, if something was wrong or if you wanted to join as a thing, you had to fill out a ticket. And now I feel like since we've already have the technology to be able to implement an easier, more streamlined way of engaging in the VR rave community, just like VRCPop does, maybe you could also explain what Decked Out is and the things that you were hoping to create with it.
Yeah, so it was created because myself, and I'm sure Ken, and I'm sure people in chat, and so many DJs in VRChat, I'm sick of having to scroll through 75 different Discord channels that have 50 pings in them because I don't have a chance to scan them all. But there might be an event that I could play at this weekend, and I missed out on it because I'm in too many Discords. That was my biggest pet peeve, especially last year when I was really like District 1, I was locking in to this DJ stuff like before maybe like 2025 was like the real first year where I was like, I want to do this all the time. And yeah, so that was like the goal number one was I want to automate the process of knowing when these clubs are hosting an event. And then obviously District 1 picked up and we had loads of DJs asking us to play, and I was like, I don't want to manage a spreadsheet. Someone said to me when I was creating it that spreadsheets are like the DLC of VRChat. They refuse to believe that a VRChat player does not have a spreadsheet for VRChat related content. on their computer somewhere. And I agreed, like every club owner will either have a Discord channel for links, a separate channel for logos, or a spreadsheet that does both. And it shouldn't be like that. It's extra work on everyone involved. And usually all this information is the exact same. You're going to have to post your link in all 75 Discords, your logo in all 75 Discords, and even then, I'll lose it and then DM you for the same info again. So the goal in mind was to create something that did all of this for you in something that you're already using, like Discord, to do the exact same thing, but also help DJs find your club and get booked for you, because I'm sure they want to play for you, but like if you're pinging them at 10 p.m. in the evening when they're getting ready to go to bed because they've got work tomorrow, and they're not going to be looking at Discord because they're getting ready to unwind, they're not going to see that event. But if they get a direct DM notification that says your club is booking, and so they don't have to scroll through because the bot is like already DMing you, telling you, hey, if you want to play here on Tuesday, you can just press this button. It just makes life easier. And from there, it's just kind of blown up. I've like added so many different features. Recently, this month, it's always been a Discord bot at heart. I've recently released the website for it. So now, let's say Club Owner 1, let's say Ken wasn't in District 1, but I heard them at Rave Factory. And I really like what they want to do. And I want to book them. But they're in too many Discords already. They're like, as a DJ, and I'm sure you know from playing various places, there's a limit to how many Discords you can be in. But as long as they have a decked out profile, I can just book Ken from the website. It updates my bot on the Discord. The bot functions properly. Like, let's say I have 5 DJs booked through our Discord, but Ken is the exception. It will still give me Ken's link. It will still give me all of Ken's info, like he's just in our Discord. The whole goal is just to automate and make everyone's lives easier without needing spreadsheets, without needing to scroll through hundreds of messages for links, without needing to make 50 group chats a month for every event you have, and then having to leave them or like find which one for which event and make sure you have the time slot right. Honestly, anything that hinders you as a DJ, the bot is there to like automate and make your life easier. And yeah, I've seen really good use out of it. I think we're in about 30 to 40 clubs now over the last 6 months, which is really cool.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Like, how has that been kind of going? The concept itself sounds amazing, and I do have a follow-up question on the outside of it. But like, I feel like while you're still developing it and you're putting in a lot of other cool tools and being able to archive a specific thing, how has that been going recently for the different people that are proactively a part of it?
I had a lot, and I mean like a lot of smaller groups, like 1,000 to 2,000 member groups, reach out to me about the bot. And while I'm developing it, which is now public, anyone can invite it through the website and add it to their Discord. But while I was developing it, it was tedious. I would have to join that Discord. I would have to be the one to set it up, everything. So I threw that out the window, and I made the decked out booking center, which is a Discord for all of these communities who might not at the time didn't have the knowledge on how to set it up for their Discord, but still wanted to use it. They were able to join the Discord, DJs as well. And I think in the first week, we already had DJs and club owners alike. I think I had about 20 different clubs using it in that Discord, outside of having it in their own Discord, and about like 70 to 80 DJs joined in that first week. And like clubs now, I saw a post this morning when I woke up, and I think they were able to fill their lineup within maybe 10, 20 minutes of making that post. I've been really pushing it hard because now it's like live. Development now is an addition to the bot. It's not it's an additional feature. All the core features are live. So I released the website and I announced that. And obviously the decked out Discord in District 1, and I shared it to some club owners who I thought would benefit from it that weren't ready to use it while I was developing it, but showed interest enough to use it when it was done. And I think this week alone, it's been added to about 10 more clubs. So it's definitely like getting out there as a tool for people to use.
Now I'm gonna ask a very complicated roundabout question about this, just because it happens from time to time. I know occasionally on this program, VRCDJ Live, we happen to have it where it's not a matter of clout, it's not a matter of gaining experience or wanting to be noticed, but there's people in our communities that are just like, I would rather someone ask me to join it, or maybe have someone ask me to perform at a specific venue, or maybe they're a little too hesitant to join because maybe because there are so many people a part of it, the algorithm won't get them the results that they're looking for with the amount of attention that they're looking for. Or maybe you have people that think that they're not good enough, so they won't be picked as often or something like that. There's lots of, limitations to all of this. So out of the what ifs, do you get a lot of that too? Where like you'll get the question of just being like, if there is a database that allows for easy booking, and you don't have nearly not as enough skill as you may think you do compared to someone else that you look up to. Have you had those conversations? Have people approached any of you guys about that?
I don't think I've had any like crazy conversations about like, oh no, what like these 5 other DJs on this lineup are really good, and now I'm scared to like pick it. I've never ran into that myself, but that's mainly because there is features with the bot. Let's say we're a really good example. I can't remember the last time we posted a public lineup outside of break room. And like you said, what if I prefer to be DM'd? We still do that. We have a section which is only for staff members. The bot still works in there, and we handpick our DJs for our Wednesday events. And all we have to do, if they're not on our system or on the decked out system, for example, is just ask them to use the command to give us our link. It's how I explain to them is it's no different to you posting your link into a channel. It just means we never have to ask you again. And I emphasize the fact, and I use Lost in a Vortex, for example, because they're a really big club that loads of people like to play at. I go, let's say you play there next week, and that's your first time playing there next week. They'll never ask you that question. They already have the information. And I think DJs hearing that and knowing that reassurance that like they don't have to do X, Y, and Z 50 times is like more than enough to get them on board with the idea. As for like people not wanting, like being anxious, again, I've not really ran into that type of conversation yet, but again, like here and now, I would just say it's just a video game, and these people posting these open signups are posting them because they want to hear DJs like you that they're not going to have a chance to hear anywhere else because X, Y, or Z reason. If they wanted to handpick their lineup, they would, but they're not. And so why are you not taking the opportunity to show them what you have? It might not be the best, but that's why you can DJ another 50 times in the week if you really cared enough to do so.
Yeah, you gotta hunt for those open decks. You gotta grind, find them. But they're there.
Yeah, having communities being able to do open decks is super important. And also it's always a balancing act in my opinion, because not only if you have you can open up say an open decks and have whoever shows up, but I feel like if you do open that up as a promoter or a club owner, you should also kind of do a little bit more research. Say, okay, what is the music going to be playing? How hard is it going to be? But also be able to communicate the hard realization, saying, kind of a what did you learn when you were up there? Not a negative way of saying it, but just being like, if you're doing open decks and this is your first time performing, did you see the crowd? How did they react to your music?
Oh my fucking god!
You're back?
I think I'm about to die.
Oh no!
No, Kissari. Did you take off your headset?
I'm dead on camera.
F's in chat, I guess, right?
Oh no. Take care of yourself. Me too.
Yeah, I might have to be right back.
Okay.
We'll be here.
See you soon.
We'll wait for you. We have F's in chat, so
Yeah,
it just went all somber, like open decks. Guys, I think I'm dying, and I'm like, this is the first time in VRCDJLIVE history.
We need her.
We.
Um,
I'll contribute an F as well in chat.
There you go.
F's in chat.
Perfect.
I think that was a good point to make. Where these open deck events, I think, we do it. Kissari heads our break room event, which is strictly open decks, and she will still ask maybe 5 to 3 days before the event. She'll ping all the DJs and go, "Hey, you don't have to tell us if you don't know just yet, but we would love to know at least what you're thinking of playing, because then like not only can we update the VRCPop to imitate that, which means let's say DJ 1 is playing a really niche genre like K-pop. Let's say they really want to play K-pop, that right? We can tell the audience that this DJ is playing K-pop, and then people that want to listen to that will come and hear them play it. And because they've been nervous to play it elsewhere, because admittedly the VRChat rave scene is EDM. That opens a gateway for them to get booked for these clubs that want to listen to their sound. And if you're not, like, I don't know, I think that's a really good point. If you're not, yes, play open decks, especially like if it's in the moment. But if you're signing up for open decks through a bot, through any form of means, being able to tell people what your sound is going to be is super important. Because that's how you're gonna find people that want to listen to you.
Through Decked Out, is there a way to update your submission to the things that you've either done or the experience, or being able to switch out different genres and stuff?
Yeah, so I have both on the website and something that is completely optional for clubs to set up in the Discord if they wish, and it's universal no matter what, is a genre selection feature. So I have about 50 to 60 common like nightlife genres in there, all the way from like witch house to rhythm tear out, like whatever you want to play. And there's a separate command which we make use of a lot, which is literally just find DJ, and you put in the genre, and it gives you the list of every DJ that has DJ role in your Discord, and that plays that genre. So like we especially when we want to book the newer DJs that we haven't had play before, for like we're doing a Rally House event sometime in the next 2 weeks. That I don't listen to Rally House. I don't think I've ever seen a Rally House event in VRChat that's all that genre, so I don't know who to book. But because they've said they play it through the bot, I now have 15 DJs to pick from that I've never heard play that before. But they know they can play it because that's what they said they played. And then also, we have the application system, but also just the profile system in general, where it's mandatory to upload a preview set. Whether that any link, it could be Twitch VOD, it could be YouTube, it could be SoundCloud, Mixcloud, whatever you choose to put your sound on. It is like if you're creating a profile, we want clubs to be able to see your best work, and that's what we want you to put on the preview. So then if I want to look at Ken's profile, I'll get a bass house set of like his favorite tracks that he's played from his favorite set. And I know, well, that's crazy. I want to book that person. And then I can look at their genres and go, well, they played a crazy bass house set. I wonder if their dubstep would be even crazier.
Understanding all that too is kind of, it's very exciting to be able to hear all this and be able to implement this. I'm hoping that a lot of different clubs and a lot of different Discords also implement this system, because it has great potential and an even better understanding. Did someone say 11 genres? Yeah. There's a big genre chat going on in the chat. It's VRCDJLIVE, by the way. We are live with Bean and Ken and, well, the ghost of Kissari, who's thinking over there. It's a standee. That's just a cardboard cutout right now. Is there a drop shadow?
It's true.
It'd be all 3D-ish.
That's funny.
Oh, they're back. Let's go.
Oh, you're back.
Let's go.
Whoa.
Welcome
What's
back,
the opposites of F in chat?
W.
Oh, yeah, for the
That's
win,
true.
right? W's in chat.
Yeah, W's. Hey.
Yeah, we love that. I'm glad I had a happy ending, so that way, we can kind of carry on. But we are here with District 1, and we're just kind of we're talking about these hard issue topics, because I feel like we're going into the summertime. Obviously, we have a few more weeks left of May. June, July, August is going to happen, and then again, just as Ken kind of alluded to, in September it's going to go, and like we're just in September, October, everyone's going back to school, and people are going to be like, oh, how come no one's coming to my DJ sets? And we're like, it's that time, man. You just got to go in and just kind of kill it. But one of the things that I wanted to ask about Decked Out, and this is coming from actually one of my clients from work, because we talk about the rave scene in here. We talk about virtual reality. He likes to rave, but he has a kid and a family and a wife, and he can't really do that. So I mean, he could, but it's just, I don't know. He's got babies at home. He asked me if there would ever be a system that could identify the best DJs in virtual reality. And I mentioned to him, I said, it's not really much about clout. It's not about who's the best of whoever, who's going to get the most lineups, who's the most iconic, who's the most goated, stuff like that. But when hearing about Decked Out, I was thinking a little bit about that process of like, you can book whoever you choose that you believe is going to do the best job for your community or club. Now, granted, too, it also indicates when that person had performed that particular thing to begin with. That way, you can bypass the process of saying, I'm gonna throw him under the bus, but like, Straz just played, or we're gonna get Straz back on for the next event. The real reality is, VRChat developer, we're gonna try our best, but so when it comes to that concept of like, let's just say we'll get some new DJs that are going into the Decked Out scene. They want to be able to put more. Is there a function in there saying that I'm open to perform more often than normal, or has that not really been developed yet?
That hasn't been implemented, but that's definitely pretty interesting. Like having a like, hey, I'm available, or like for instance, myself, like I'm done for May. I think I've overbooked myself this month, so I don't want to like. I think it would be pretty nice for like a little indicator to say, please do not DM me. I'm done for this month, and then like when the months, I can like set a date maybe, like, hey, I want to start booking again next month, so I'll set it for the 1st, and the bot will automatically change it back to green, or I can come back and change it. Whatever. I think that's a pretty cool idea. It's not in yet. I didn't even think about that. That has just like sparked a really good idea in my head. So probably will be a thing. As for like the best DJ in VRChat, that's always subjective to your taste in music. The best DJ in VRChat for me can be someone that plays 60 minutes of my favorite UKG track, 0 transitions, because I want to listen to that music. Of course, transitions and like doubling and layering during your set is gonna enhance the set and make it sound way better. But at the end of the day, you should be chasing the sound of the music you like, not like you shouldn't be chasing it for anything else.
I think the reason why he was asking me that is because he has a history of more marketing and promotion and looking for better ways to promote the existence of a popular DJ, i.e. if you were going to DJ at a club, they'd ask you how many tickets you can sell or how many people are following you on social media, kind of like a collateral to how many tickets can you potentially sell later on. And I think that's the other thing too. He keeps asking me like how much money potential could be in VRChat. I'm like, these are not the questions we need to be talking about right now. There's so many other fun things that we can be discussing, especially further promotion on, down the road. When it comes to the DJs and the talent and stuff like that. I quickly want to touch upon before we get back to Ken about VRCPop, because I know he's waiting. He's sitting on pins and needles over there trying to getting ready for those statistics and talking about that, because I want to talk about it, but obviously there's lots of other things to talk about too. Is when developing Decked Out, what has been a really good response from District 1 and the attendance and the attendees? Have they been seeing a really good rotation of certain DJs? Are they requesting other DJs to be performing all the time? Are they looking for new talent all the time?
This pretty controversial, maybe. I know I'm prone and very bad at booking like the newer DJs. If I want a sound that I want to listen to, and I know a DJ will play that sound that I want to listen to, I will always go to them first. And that has led in double booking, like back-to-back events. OSHA Violation, who's sitting up there, I think I booked him 3 weeks in a row, but all for different genres, because I know he's going to play what I want to listen to. And we have asked in the past, like we pondered on the idea of like, should we be creating a space for our regular people that come every week like giving them a role in Discord, and all it has to be is a channel and go, guys, what do you want to listen to this week? We haven't done that yet because when we were creating our Wednesday event, Night Shift, it was primarily, hey, we're putting on the event, we're staying there for the X amount of hours, we're hosting it, we're moderating it. So what do we want to listen to? Because we know, like, we all have great taste in music, thankfully. Oh my god, that would be horrible if we didn't. But like, that's like, we all do this for free, so our payment is we get to listen to the music that week that we want to listen to, and as a benefit of that is other people will want to listen to it too and join us in the experience.
I know we recently had a question in chat about, I believe it was something about what is. Hold on, I'm gonna have to take a look at it because it's important that I remember these things. It was a genre question based on. Speaking of genres, what kind of genre would you like to hear more of? And I obviously seeing the lineup of events on District 1, they do kind of do a little bit of a rotation based off of what you want. What do you think? What genre defines District 1, and what do you want to see more from District 1 with genres?
We've been called the techno club of the American scene. Ken called us that one time because there's not very many North American clubs in that space that do play like 3-4 hours of like crazy techno and put like spotlight on the techno DJs. That's definitely more of a European genre. Even in the IRL scene, if you look at like the Eastern European and Western European venues, they're all playing hard style and like very heavy techno. But then you look at the American venues, like EDC this weekend, it's all like, you already know that's going to be all heavy EDM music. And so I think us bringing that to this space has been great. Me being a European myself, I obviously like listening to the drum and bass, jungle, UKG, and like 140 dubstep and grime. That being said, jungle is definitely something I would love to see more in VRChat. I think it's really chilled out, so people don't play it enough. And I don't think breakbeat is my cup of tea, and it's not played enough in VRChat.
Ken, what do you think about the techno scene in here? I don't dabble too much into it. I enjoy it. I think a lot of people in the Americas also are kind of feeding into that concept. I think everyone in the Americas want to hang out with the Europeans. I mean, I think we all just want to collectively get together and just have a good time. The time zones are always a big issue, but like
Always the time zones.
Yeah, how are you seeing about the genres in here too, especially with techno?
I could see that like the scene is diversifying for sure. Techno is hard to find. I love techno. I just want the uns uns uns. It's got like all the punch of dubstep without the grit. And that's what I like about it. But to throw my answer in the ring is like, I noticed that a lot of people stray away from house and like tech house and bass house and that like really bouncy quick vibe because for lack of a less accurate phrase, Spotify DJs love that sound. And that's like a tricky situation where you have people labeling themselves the same word that we do, even though fundamentally it's different. And I think that's where people kind of draw this like pushing away from house. But I wish we had more house. I wish there's like a lot of technically skilled, like excellent house DJs, and we need more of them. Like Bean. When I first met Bean, I heard them playing like drum and bass and I want to say tech house. Like those, and you play remixes. That's what we need.
Yeah.
I want to sing. I want to know the words. Like sometimes I want to headbang, but like IMO, we don't have enough sing-along DJs. We need that. And even if they're just remixes, like that's cool with me.
It's great to hear that too, and like I agree with you too, because I feel like anytime you say tech house, someone on social media is going to complain about it. You know, someone's going to be like, oh, everybody's playing it, and I feel like
as I get 3 DMs, people are upset.
I think it's because they cracked the code of it too quickly. You know, like I feel with jungle and UKG, you're gonna expect it's okay. Ooh, I'm gonna say something terrible. It's gonna be the same mom and dad phrase of it all sounds the same. Boo! Oh, Rob said a thing. Oh, boo! But it's just like that.
Every drum and bass DJ on this
every
platform.
EDM song is that's Darude Sandstorm, right? That's what. I don't want to say that, but like I think a lot of people are saying that with tech house as well. They're like it has the same ounce to it, like I think you were kind of referring to, and I think that's the reason why people are. I'm not saying they're trying to cancel it, but I think that that's why they're trying to cancel it. And
I think we should cancel bed squeaky noises out of Jersey. I am out.
Really?
If I hear a bed squeaky noise in your set, I'm gone.
Really?
I'm leaving.
Why?
I'm not listening to 3 minutes of squeaky, 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 squeaky. Like, no. Pick a better
I think
song.
I think it's just every genre though. Like
everyone has their own like thing.
Like one of my friends was like, I hate listening to rhythm because it's the same wub wub wub. New song wub wub wub, and like there might be a like slightly different melody, but like that's how I see tech house. It's the same 4/4 drum pattern with someone singing differently over it.
Do you think that's kind of the reason why everyone likes to be underground here, is because it's something brand new that they probably would have never heard of?
Totally.
Yeah.
Like some people dabble. Like people world hop all the time. They just like see where people are. And I think if you're in here and you're not dabbling, then like you're probably staying in one club, to be honest. Maybe like 2.
Yeah, that's so true. Like someone, I can't remember if it was our conversation last month or someone definitely said this to me at some point, where like unfortunately IRL, if you're trying to become a DJ and get your name out there, you kind of do have to stick to one genre. It's like, yeah, you can dabble a little bit left and right, but like every area in the world has their preferred music. For example, the UK, like 99% of these DJs are probably going to be drum and bass DJs. But like in VRChat, we're all connecting to each other from around the world. So I can go from playing house 1 hour to playing rhythm tear out the next to playing techno the next. And like there's no reason to not be diversifying your profile in the VR scene. And I think that's another reason why people get burnt out so quickly, is because like, yes, I really love dubstep, so I'm gonna DJ on VRChat and I'm only gonna play dubstep. And then 4 months later, man, I've played all the dubstep I really like. This is boring now because I'm getting booked. I'm really good at this and I'm getting booked to play this everywhere. But now I'm just playing the same thing 5 times a week instead of like, oh, you can instead this could be 5 different events, 5 different genres a week, and you wouldn't get bored because you're not only playing a different sound every week, but then you're now encouraged to find new music for 5 different genres instead of the one.
So I think this is where VRCPop comes into play, where again, a lot of people that are coming into VRChat, they want to be able to experience all the different genres, and then you can just kind of join an instance to be able to either get a high energy, low energy, or a specific genre, depending on what you want. But here's the real question now, is for the people that are coming in here, where's the confident place to start when you want to learn to DJ? I mean, I'm not saying that there is a popular genre to begin with, unless Ken knows the answer to that.
Confidently, you cover your eyes, you click on a bubble, and you listen to what they're playing.
Well, I'm just, no, like if you were going to be a beginner DJ and you want to learn to want to be a part of the community, I've always...
exactly what I mean.
Okay, so you just
like,
kind of...
If you're brand new, like, jump into the deep end. Find one club. Go to it. Go to it every week, you know? Go to it, like, for a couple weeks. See the vibe. Like... I wish there was like a, here's 1, 2, 3, how to get booked right off the bat. But it's like, get booked in what? Like, what's the point? Like there's got to be something there for you to like be a part of. And the only way to get a part of it is to be there. So like,
and
that's the way I think about it.
Kind of seeing it too about the whole social aspect of it too is just not even just a matter of you want to DJ and then you get your console and you're like, great, you got the console. Now you got to talk to people that that you can click with.
Yeah, the scary part. Oh.
So you have to go around and kind of take a look and see and all that sort of stuff. Getting back into VRCPop though, I know when you were first talking about it, how you were saying that you were doing it, you want to do it as like a service for the community, giving them a better access point to join in literally any club, any community here, and be able to experience what they got going on, while also understanding the highs and the lows and how many people are in there currently and how many people, if the event is starting to kind of dwindle down, and having all that information there. What are some other things that you wanted to be able to explain that VRCPop was created for, outside of just being that?
Yeah, besides VRCPop being the place you find where things are popping, I was like struggling to find a way to make the site multi-purpose, but it's found its way. So there's half of it, honestly, like 20% of the code is user facing, like the public would face it without logging in once. And the rest of it is also publicly available, all publicly available, but it's designed to like be tools to help club owners. Like if you run a group and sign up on VRCPop today, and like once you make sure it's all set up correctly following like the 3 steps or whatever that are on the site, you get access to so much information that I wish I knew. Like sometimes I was like, "Oh, we had such a huge night." Like I wish we knew like how big it was, but I was so focused and like we were having so much fun. Like and having something like outside recording everything in the same way that like it's all public information, like going to your social tab, and if you can't see the friends in there and you can only see like the population, if it's PC Quest and stuff like that, there's like a lot of value there that's like left on the table. So if you're a club owner, you can see like, hey, when I run a quest venue, like what percentage of the instance were questies? Like is my community like, do they need to value that? Or like I run a bunch of worlds, but this world underperforms. Like maybe it's because it's lag or something. Like I'll look into it. Or like my Wednesdays don't do as well as my Thursdays. Or like there's so many things that you can dig into just off of this like raw, pure, aggregate, anonymous data. And it's just like left on the table. And that's super valuable for club owners. Like I remember when I first, like after the first month, I went to a club owner and I was like, "Hey, 1% of your users are Quest. Like, did you know that?" And they were like, "Oh," and they like took a step back and, as far as I know, like fundamentally shifted their way they like perceive that the attendees of their like events, and like they wouldn't have known that. Like who clicks the button and like scans around for the word quest and counts it down and like writes it down, like some maniac or someone who has a lot of time to write bots and websites. And that's where I thought like, hey, that's a little extra I could throw out there. So it's got like pros for club owners and management, but then also for like the attendees. It's supposed to help everyone. Hopefully, like raise the ocean, all boats go up, something like that. We'll see.
Is there also like a ticket system, just in case you have attendees that go to an event, let's just say, but they don't know who to talk to, just in case of like you see some Z fighting or you see some again with a quest kind of a thing. Is there a way through VRCPop for them to kind of communicate that to the owner, or is there a way that they can
Well,
submit a
there's like
ticket or something?
there's tons of avenues. If you sign up on the website with your club, you can add as many links as you want. You can add like a Twitch link. It'll show up like a live stream on your bubble when you click on it. Like the Discord is a huge thing. If you add a Discord link, it'll show up right. It's one click after you click the bubble. So you click the bubble, join Discord. So there's like tons of ways you can get in like to communication. But on top of that, I found that like places that aren't really being valued or credited that should be, um, are like dancers and hosts. But now that I think about it, photographers and media teams should probably be on there too. Uh, but when you make an event for VRCPop, you can like label your hosts. You can add them to a list. So not only is there a lineup, you see the list of staff that are available there. You see like who's dancing there and when they're dancing. So if you're like, oh, I love that metal set, like I wish I knew who was dancing at the time, then like bam, it's like there. You don't have to like hope and pray someone remembers or like ask a friend of a friend of a friend. Like it's nice to rely on something and lean back, and it's like it's just there trucking along collecting data, I guess. I don't know. I kind of lost my train of thought there.
No, it's all super
Um,
helpful because again, too, like
hmm,
if you have an instance and you're going in there to experience the live event, unless you have the group that says staff on it, or you have an avatar that has staff on your shirt, or you
hmm,
have to put in that much more effort to put on a shirt that says staff on it. It'd be a so much easier process to just be able to list it there on the website saying, hey, you got a question? Look for so and so, and then either talk to them or
hmm,
send them a DM or something. And that process is people may not need to use it right away, but it's always there, and I think that's
hmm.
reassurance, especially for a lot of these events. Um, gonna ask, how easy is it to sign up on the website?
We could do it right now.
Well, I mean,
It takes last time someone signed up was yesterday around noon. I messaged them a couple hours later. I knew them, but I saw their sign up and they told me under 30 seconds. It depends how fast you are, but in order to prove that so for one, I don't deal with passwords. I don't deal with security. I keep my stuff like at tip-top shape and I audit my stuff, but I don't trust myself with storing passwords in the case like I get hacked or something. So everything is centralized through Discord's SSO, so you can just sign in with Discord. And if you're already signed in on your browser or you're on your desktop, that's easy peasy. So we're at like 1, maybe 2 seconds at this point. From that point, if you go to like the left sidebar, there's a big glowing button, log in with Discord. That's the bad boy you're looking for. Um, Once you log in with Discord, you should immediately see a claim group button where you punch in your group code, group link, or group ID. And then at that point, you have to prove that you own the group because I didn't want people like randomly throwing groups on there saying like, I own it. Like, give me control. Let me like graffiti up their bubble with like, we're only playing lo-fi here at wherever. But wow, I lost my train of thought there. I said lo-fi and I was like really, I got stuck on that idea real quick. Um, In order to prove that you're an owner, you have to put a code in your bio or status. So that's the hardest part. The hardest part for people is clicking the copy button and digging through their bio and pasting it somewhere. But that's where I found it to be like as few steps as possible. Um, so it's a couple clicks, how fast you can paste something into your bio or status, get rid of it, you're good to go. Every instance you make that's public or group plus will automatically show up on the site. You don't have to do anything. Like you could technically sign up for VRCPop and then just forget about it forever. And you'll know that your instances, once it's opened, people will be able to find it outside of your group. Um, so like I think the 30-second wait time for the scanner to grab your code and be like, yep, their VRChat ID is linked to the ownership of this VRChat group. Like proven, verified, good to go. Once you get over that hurdle, like you're good to go forever. Like sure you can label your events, but you're already 80% of the way there. You have exposure for free and you don't have to do anything. Like it takes you 2 minutes. Um, I guess that's the pitch. Like you could sign up like pretty quick,
that's what I was
I think.
saying. Like, I'm thinking like a lot of people are going to want to sign up even after this interview, especially if you have a community that you really want to either learn about the statistics about it and the numbers, but also
Mhm.
be able to showcase it when you actually have an event and people can be like, boom, I'm in. I'm gonna go take a look at this and go see this DJ here. Is I know Decked Out is its own thing, and you also feature it on the website. Is it integrated when you sign up for the first time?
Our
All
databases
the way
talk to each
through.
other.
So if you
Yeah.
create an event on Decked Out and you've done the process, which admittedly is a little bumpy to because we haven't touched it since we
Fire
conceived
it
the idea of doing it. To link the two bots together, so like you go to the website on VRCPop. There's an option to link it to Decked Out. It gives you a code. You put the code into the bot. It's literally like /link-pop, I think it is. I haven't touched it in a while since we made it. And that's it. The VRCPop now knows that if any events you create should be shown on the website. You make it the second you create the event, it's there on the website, and it takes the DJ names. I think again, it's like we thought of the idea, we put it in, and it hasn't really been touched since. So I think it should take the Discord username or the preview name, whatever their nickname is, and just let's say you signed up for slot 3 of the event that's coming up tomorrow. You click it, and it will autofill the information out on VRCPop. So let's say the only issue is it doesn't show the genres. That is still up to the club owner to fill out them, like what genre is being played. But if you have a 4 DJ lineup and all the DJs are in your Decked Out event, they'll auto be filled in and auto show up on the event.
See, that's what I'm saying.
On the bubble.
People need to people
Yeah,
need to do
we
this on a
mingle and
Thursday, then try to wait on a Friday or Saturday. You can still do it on a Friday or Saturday, but I mean, you're also wasting time seeing other DJs and other things you could be potentially be doing. So obviously, after everybody is done with VRCDJLIVE, go and sign up, get that move in, so we can continue to grow this entire product. Speaking of which, it's VRCDJLIVE. We got a handful of minutes left. Here on the program. We've just been kind of literally talking forever, and you know, I enjoy all the time here with District 1 and Bean and Ken and Kissari, who's being very on your best behavior in the corner.
I'm a good dog.
We never got the Kissari's genre preference.
Yeah.
What are we needing to hear more?
What do you want more of?
Happy hardcore,
Hey.
but I do that already.
I think so too.
Not
too fast for everybody.
Well, bi-monthly, I try to do a happy hardcore event. We're currently actually gearing towards our 4th one, which is exciting for me. But I noticed that there's a very big lack of some very niche genres. Eurobeat is one that I'm hosting at the end of the month, trying to get people to come and do that. But like I've never seen like a full Eurobeat event. I don't see a full happy hardcore event. So I was just like, I'm gonna do it because I fucking love hearing that shit.
There's a lot of niches that I think that I would love to come back. I mean, every April 1st, besides this previous one, we would do country music, like a whole country music lineup, and I was equally surprised to see how many people were interested in that. I really want to do a twerk set. That sounds weird, but I mean, there's very lack of twerking in here that I would love to see a lot more twerking in here.
You're dang right.
Listen, you got the butt bones. You gotta throw it back.
Oh, I got something for you. Hold on.
Okay.
Let's if you could get the camera on me really quick. This is why we do it. There we go.
For the she, stays engaged.
Yay. Maybe I'll go backwards.
There you go.
Maybe that'll go
Perfect.
better. Yay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Listen, we always look a good bumper. So as we're winding down here on the show, it's going to be a very generic question from the three of you, but like, where do you see the VRChat rave community going? Let's just say in the next 2 years. we got to eat up the rest of 2026. We've kind of identified a little bit of rockiness going into the summertime, maybe going into the fall time. But I think once we hit the seasons towards the end of the year, we already know we're going to be on autopilot between doing spooky stuff and Thanksgiving and and Christmas and stuff like that. So that's a given. But like compared to all the things that we have been talking about, how much better can VRChat rave scene get in the next 2 years?
Only up. I mean, from a world creator standpoint, look at the things clubs were doing 2 years ago compared to what we do now. Screen effects and like the crazy visuals that District 1 do being a crazy example of that. Like, yeah, it was possible 2 years ago, but are they up to the standard now? Like, we have the visuals of like the lighting department in events. I've seen a lot more like VJs on the up and coming recently. Like, a lot more clubs are starting to consider not using the DJ's visuals at all and like putting VJs into the spotlight, which is just another added layer of immersion. I mean, like Ken said, VRChat's up 20% this year. I think I looked at a random Wednesday night last week. There's like this website that shows the statistics of VRChat, and there was 100,000 people on this game on a random Wednesday at like 10 p.m. EST.
Where are they?
So like, it can only go up. Like, yeah, the VRChat, the club scene always is gonna have a wider amount of communities compared to like turnouts, like we said about earlier. That's just natural. That's been like that for 7 years. That's never going to change. But the only benefit from that is the more communities out there that are open, it means more people are seeing what we do here in the rave scene. And yeah, they might not want to work out, but this community that opened up and unfortunately didn't work out now has brought 20, 30 new people that might not have known about the rave scene to another community, and so forth and so forth and so forth. And that's only a positive. Like, it comes with its negatives, of course, but it's only positive outcomes in the long term.
Ooh, do you want to take this one? Do you want to go first? I could go.
I forgot the question.
Oh, it's like where do we see the scene in 2 years?
Yeah, I feel like with Ari, I would want to know a little
Oh.
bit
I got
more
it.
about like where do you see multimedia and like even just graphic design
Ooh,
and
yeah.
photography headed in the future too.
With posters, I honestly can only see it going like better and fuller. I see some banger shit on Blue Sky like every day. I am constantly sharing stuff because it looks cool. Like I'm gonna like throw out Tree Sleeper right now. Her graphic design skills are immaculate, and I can only just like imagine like what goes through her brain when she's making posters, you know.
Can I chime
And
in on that? For a second?
yeah, go ahead.
I was going to bring this up earlier when Ken did all their shout outs, and this
Ooh.
really like tumbles in. Another thing in the scene recently is you're seeing a lot of community members. I'm going to name a few like Stroud and Pastor, who have been helping out our space of people a lot. Like they're just ravers. They come to these events, they dance, but they're crazy talented graphic design people, and that's their niche. Like, you don't have to host an event, they don't have to DJ, but like they're like crazy graphic designers, and their niche is making posters, and that's their contribution to the community. Like, you don't have to be super talented and have a great music taste to put your 2 cents into something you love.
Usually with the community too. Everybody's doing everything to help the community grow more, and that's the most amazing thing that I've been able to experience. Ken?
Where do I see the scene in 2 years? Okay, well, knocking on wood and then knocking on real wood, you know, growing. That's an obvious thing, but like I was saying earlier, I hope there's more of like a structured playbook that more clubs can survive. Like, although we say it's like a hobby, there is work we put into it, like obviously. And doing that every day, or like doing that on a day where it's like you had a rough day at work, like my car had a flat tire, like all this shit, and like I have to hop in an instance and do X, Y, or Z. Like it's those days that are like it's pretty rough. And if like that could happen to less people, that would be great. I guess I'm just dreaming now, but so hopefully in 2 years, the scene is significantly larger, it's more stable, there are more reoccurring events that people can trust and know that they exist, so you have multiple options per night. I would hope we would have more variety in genres. Um, in an ideal world, I would hope that there would be too many bubbles for VRCPop to show. That would be ideal.
And just have everybody go to that constantly, and you need to have a
Oh,
you need to have like you did the on
like a way to
cheer.
pan
You have
around.
like a cheer, the on screen cheer thing that you posted up on the chat recently, where it's just like all
Yeah.
the bubbles, and then you have a button on the bottom that's like for all the bubbles, and just you know what I mean. Like
Yeah,
it's more of like
if you grab the clock, you can drag it around and push the bubbles around, fun fact.
hey, there you
That's
go.
a cool Easter egg. Yeah, there's like
Oh, what
tons of
about the
little things like that.
cheese?
Yeah, okay. If you go to the website, and I don't remember it fully, but I think if the minutes are divisible by 3, then you see a little piece of cheese, and if you grab it, I'm not gonna spoil it. If you see the piece of cheese, that's like a sick thing. Thank you, Theg, for that idea. Be on the lookout for the little piece of cheese. I love like little Easter eggs like that. Um, yeah, there's another thing to it. It like shows up very rarely, but I saw it this morning, which was cool.
There you go. Now here's
Yeah.
the $1 million question. That out of all of the year's successes of District 1, okay, 1 year anniversary, being showcased on the New Year's Eve map for VRChat, helping out with the large multi-group fundraising with GearFest, obviously with VRCPop and Decked Out. What is the near future for District 1?
Oh, near future. Um, just keep doing what we're doing. I think if you plan too far ahead, you stress, you panic, and things can go wrong very quickly. I'm very much a live in the moment type of person. I know me and Nitsua have been pondering the idea of like a festival scale, like 3-day event. Which I don't know if we're cutting it too short to start planning, but it's definitely in the cards. I want to definitely I really like the idea of themed events. A big festival here in the UK is called Boomtown, where you go and everyone's like everyone's like role playing a character, like all the staff. And like I think we were on the idea of a Renaissance festival where it's still all EDM music, but people are encouraged to like edit their avatars to be like time period like accurate in like crazy gowns
Ye
or
old
whatever, or
rave.
like ye old rave, yeah. So that's definitely like far future for us if we're planning, like if we're talking about the future. But right now it's just keep doing what we're doing because it's what's fun.
And not for nothing too, but like again, I've your group and a ton. There was like maybe a handful of other groups. They're always like encouraging me. They're like, Rob, come in on a Friday and a Saturday. Come and see the show. And then I'm a little late, and it's already too late. Like the event is like it's so full, and then there's a queue, and I'm sitting there going, I should have been there on time, and I should have been there instantly, and all that sort of stuff. So obviously that alone has just been, it gives you good charisma. I don't want to say the Riz, you get charisma. You got good charisma as far as the community is concerned with the music and the attention and the people that are a part of your group and stuff like that. It's all kudos to District 1 for everything that you provide for the community. So, but before we get you on out of here, of course, VRCDJ Live. We're sitting here with Bean and Ken and Kissari, District 1. We usually end the show like normal with our rapid fire questions, and if you've already been watching the show, you should already know what these questions are going to kind of pertain. If not, again, it's rapid fire, so we're not going to talk too much into it. But out of everything that we've kind of talked about tonight, which we've kind of talked about all sorts of different topics of all sorts of different shapes and sizes. For the average person who is just joining VRChat, I think we've already kind of answered this one, but what is a good sound of advice if they want to even start to get into the rave community?
I don't know. Like, just treat it like you would treat it in real life. Have a good time. Yeah, be responsible. Know your limits. And don't be afraid to speak to the person on the other side of the screen, because they were just as nervous as you when you first joined an instance.
Yeah, I gotta agree. Drink water. That's gonna be huge. Oh, but you were saying, sorry, getting into the scene. Best advice that I can give you from the receipts is that if you see an instance with 60 people in a queue, regardless of how long you wait, you will not get in. Statistically, those queues only grow, they do not dissipate. Statistically, sorry to say. If you find an event that you really like that's scheduled, you're gonna have to wait like for the minute. But the good news is that that only happens with 7-ish clubs. And although they take up 18% of the attendees across the board, there are 165 regularly running clubs that you can walk in at any point because there isn't a queue. So like my tip is like jump into the deep end, go anywhere. If you don't like the vibe, go somewhere else. Like find what you want. Like don't be shy. Just say excuse me. Don't walk through people. Oh my lord. And like I don't know. Be genuine, I guess. Like people can tell.
Maybe find the avatar that you can click with the most and strike up a conversation.
Yeah, totally. Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna basically agree wholeheartedly with Ken. Just if you dive into the deep end, find the music that you like. If you see someone dancing on the dance floor, just go up and say hi and just start dancing with them. That's how I've made some of my friends. If you like the DJ, add the DJ. Follow them around. Find more DJs. That's how you find your little space. That's how you find what clubs you like.
And outside of popular
Join
belief, you
groups out of
can talk
people's
to
accounts.
the
Join
DJs
those.
too. Like that's the thing. Not while they're doing the thing, but like afterwards. Like I'm pretty sure all the DJs are cool that you can talk to them.
Yeah, you, like literally just go up and be like, your set was amazing. Like I've done that so mmany times. That's how I met Osha, actually. That's how I met Bean. That's how I met Ken.
Yeah. That sounds pretty great. And I'm gonna ask you all three to work together on this one. If you were gonna put together a VRChat bingo card of the 5 spaces to get bingo for the rave scene, what were those 5 spaces?
Oh, I have my favorite one that
Yeah.
we use all the time. This is my real height, and I refuse to change.
Let's go one.
Are we talking about things you hear?
It could be almost anything. It
Like
could
you
be
might hear at a-
worlds you've been to. It could be genres. It could be things that
I go to an EU event and I hear da 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 da. If I hear that, yep, I'm hearing
Oh,
I
that.
yeah.
don't
I'm
even know
hearing
what
that
that
10
is.
times a night. It's like one of 5 drum and bass. Actually, I should
Oh,
probably stop.
okay. What every
It's one of 5
drum and bass
songs
sounds
that take
like.
up
Yeah.
50% of. Yeah.
That's hilarious because there's no words. Yeah, it's just da da da
Yeah,
da da
that's
da.
on the list. If you're going to American venues, North American, I would say depending on the vibe, it was laser beam at one point. Boom, laser, you know, like that. But then it was like everybody in my section. And now
I
it's I
respect
don't
your
even know what it is.
honesty.
It's like it just changes. But you'll hear that those whatever the word thing is that people are repeating, you'll hear that. That's my second bingo thing. And then
Oh.
uh bingo sheet.
Um,
I don't know.
You will lag a little bit as soon as you get into that instance.
Oh, totally.
Just know wholeheartedly, you will lag. Someone in there has an avatar with a million polys, a million everything, like
Mhm.
stacked up, and it will try to crash you.
And if
Just
you
be
don't want your
aware.
game to crash, look straight down because it unloads everyone. Like not unloads,
Ooh, see,
but you don't render because you're just looking down there. That's a
That's
pro strat.
crazy. Because when I look at the floor, I start to crash out. I have to look at my
No
hands
way.
directly.
Yeah, you just like just do both, hope and pray.
I have to literally put my hands in front of my face, and I'm just like, alrighty.
So I'm gonna go find my little
Hmm.
barrel in the corner and just kind of hide in there a little bit.
Oh,
What?
I have a PSA, but this is super simple. This is like I'd love to show. Okay, hold on. Let me walk around my chair. I'll go over here. Okay, perfect. Let's say you are at a venue, right? And my drink is all the way over there, right? Or let's say it's right here, and Kissari's
this is
right
my
here,
favorite
right?
bingo card.
Yeah, I think I
Everyone,
know where this is
this
going.
isn't on the bingo card, but this should be on everyone's bingo card because everyone should know this. Do I reach for my drink and pardon my pixels, or do I, if you have this functionality, instead of moving your arm, what you do is you lock your arm and then you walk with the hand in the same spot, and oh my god, I'm tripping. And you don't move from the same VR spot. So you don't have to walk through people and grab your drink. You just double tap and then you just like strut your way across the room and then back.
See, that's a skill. See, I have the skill issue.
You just lock the elbow to your like to your hip, and then you just don't
Oop.
move your arm. Hopefully that makes
You
sense.
can also, what I usually do is I'll double tap my headset and play space because
Yeah, that's pretty
it
good.
automatically AFKs me.
I got so much to
That's so
learn.
smart.
That looks so cool.
There are lots of pro tips.
I think my final bingo card point would be, it's a good event if half of the instance has shrunk down to as small as possible and is on the deck.
Those are
there's
fun.
not
Those
enough
events are
room.
real fun. Yeah. What about
Yeah.
what about a free space? What is something you would give away for free?
Ooh,
Space.
free space.
Cheers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cheers.
cheers.
Yeah, cheers. Or
Cheers.
puff
Skull.
puff.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers or puff
All
puff.
right, bet.
Yeah,
Okay, the most
that's the
the
one.
most complicated question that I ask every guest, and I will give you an option to either do 3 each or 1 each, so that way we can kind of wrap up time. Who are your top 3 favorite DJs to watch in VRChat?
Oh my god. Right now, they've only been around for a few months and they're going crazy. It's Steffi. Steffi is like very much up there for me right now. They're going crazy. They've been playing for us a lot at our open deck, like at the end of events. Another one that I really like to listen to a lot, and I know I booked him 3 weeks in a row, is OSHA Violation, who I think is still up there. He's somewhere in this building. Honestly, one of my favorite DJs. And then for final, Ken. I hate to break it, like it's just Ken. Ken is like, I don't know, if I wanna listen to that white girl ass shaking music, I
That's
want
what
Ken.
I do. Group banner literally says play ass shaking music. Mm-hmm. Okay, right off the bat, Nessie, the GOAT. Nessie exclamation point. Maybe it's an upside down exclamation point. Doesn't matter. They're the best. They do heavy dubstep, so much energy, so much raw energy. It's awesome. And then like the wonky bass end, Extroid, any day. And if you want variety, Metal X. That's like top 3 for me. Boom, boom, boom. Like if I want to have some variety or like someone who I know is like rock solid, I would say those 3 off the top of my head as of recent. Bean, always excellent, but I feel like that's cheating. I appreciate it though. I appreciate your answer. Thank you. Bean is always
the way
hype.
that you both
Bean
are
is
sitting
always
next to
hype.
each
There's a
other, it's
reason why
like a
they get booked all
bromance
the
you got
time.
going on here.
It'd be like that.
Yeah, at some point.
What about Ari?
So I will say number 1's probably actually going to be Mudbutt. His
Ooh.
hard techno sets, beyond immaculate. I had him play at my birthday party, and I have probably 45 plays on that set alone. Probably more. I'm not gonna lie. Another one is going to be Folza. She is one of our resident DJs, and she can play a very, very wide range of hardstyle, hardcore type stuff. Her psytrance, she just started, and it's so good that it impressed my partner, and he's like a psytrance like big boy. last one.
That's funny. I'm writing that down. Write that down.
I'm
Okay.
actually gonna say Ken.
Oh,
Because
double?
he has like doubled. Listen, you are
Crazy.
probably you have my biggest memory in VRChat. Like
Yeah.
I sitting on Kaleidosky's tiny table, shaking my ass, meeting you at the very end, taking a photo, having that photo in my photo bank forever and ever, like cry face emoji type shit.
Mm-hmm.
So you were gonna take a
That's
break,
cool.
right, Ken?
Maybe.
Yeah, I
now
guess you're not
now
going
my
too far
cat's
now.
here. I have an emotional support cat. She knows. Hi.
That's amazing. But
Hmm.
again, getting to know all these DJs too is that you're saying some names that I haven't even seen before, and I'm pretty sure there's a ton of other people that I haven't been able to see them too. So obviously, being able to shout them out is super important. Before we get on out of here, where can we find District 1 on the internet?
We have discord.gg/District1, all lowercase. On TikTok, it's District1VR. I think on Blue Sky, it's District1VR. I think on Twitter, it's District1VR. And then we have a website, district1.vrcpop.com. And obviously, on the group, every event's group public. So we're usually on the front page when you see look at the live now section on VRChat. If we have an event running, we've got all your friends in here because they're all amazing, and friends of a friends is what makes the club scene pop. And yeah, I think that's about it. And obviously Twitch starting Sunday.
So obviously you got
Let's
to make sure that we're watching
go.
everything that District 1 is up to, especially if for some reason you can't get into the instance. You could be in your pajamas in your bed comfortable while also grooving out to the music. That's super important. Well, guys, really glad to have you here, a part of the show, and I'm glad that we were able to kind of chew the fat and shoot the meat a little bit about what was going on in our community. And I can't wait to continue on these conversations in the summertime and even in the fall to see how much more successful we'll be, right?
That sounds awesome. That sounds hype.
I'm getting ready for it.
Mhm.
So, guys, thank you for being on the show, and hopefully we can get you on next time.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having
Hey,
us.
Yeah.
thank you.
Hell yeah.
Awesome, and that's gonna do it for us for
Mhm.
VRC DJ Live this week. But I would say we're gonna be doing more episodes next week. But next week is MomoCon, very big time to go in Atlanta, Georgia. I have to perform. I'm not gonna promote myself or anything, but that's kind of a big thing. So obviously I got to go do the thing. If you want to see all of the highlights and the episodes that we previously have had on VRC DJ Live, we have them all available for you up on YouTube at VRC DJ Live. Of course, the highlight will be available on Friday with the full show to rewatch with all the timestamps available on Sunday. And you can find even more about what we do here on the program through our Blue Sky and X and Instagram, all through our link tree at VRC DJ Live, including if you're a DJ or a club owner or part of the community and you want to be on the show and talk it up just like all these guys did here. Feel free to fill out the form. Let us know that you're interested, and we'll say, hey, come on, and we can continue our conversations about what's going on in the VRChat rave community. Again, next week we have off, so it'd be nice to kind of, guess what? See new DJs. Go to VRCPop.com and see new DJs. Go to District 1 shows. That's a fun thing to do. Take some time for yourself and take some time for the people that are actually out there to give you the entertainment. However, the following week's going to be a big show as we're joined by a couple of the rave directors from Furality. We'll be up here on the program to not only be able to identify the upcoming convention that is in virtual reality, but also I've asked their permission, and we're going to break down the whole idea and the concept of the application process to DJ for Furality. I know it's kind of a big talk. They had a lot of people that had applied, and they only had a 7% acceptance rate. So obviously the people have the questions. We need the answers. We're going to sit down with the guys from Furality to talk about all of that and all of the things that are coming up within Fur DJs and Fur conventions. So For District 1, Bean. Sorry, this is the first time I'm calling you Ben. I'm never going to call you that again. Bean and Ken and Kissari from District 1 and the VRC DJ Live staff behind the glass. I'm Rob Roman. Thank you for coming by, and we will see you next time. Bye.